And it's lift off this Saturday on Racing Post Live. Myself, Dave Orton. Welcome back. The flat returns. Crazy, isn't it? We were only just talking about Cheltenham last Saturday. Of course, it was the Midlands National. More on that in a sec. But we are Lincoln's bound at Doncaster. Great to have you with us this afternoon. Stick around till 3:35. That's the big one. The final of 9 races. It's going to be fast and furious for you out there. We'll give you all the raucous reaction. We've got some great minds. We're going to introduce some new talent to you today. What can possibly go wrong? Myself, Dave Orton, steering a fine ship with our sponsors, Betfair, and on the way, of course, lots of action out there for you. The sun is shining everywhere, isn't it? So it's drying ground all the time at Doncaster. Some very, very interesting races. Starting off, let's face it, there's no form to go on. It's great to have the 2-year-olds back, but the Brocklesby is a bit of a guess-up. We're going to need Barry Orr to give us the market on that one. We shall get to Barry shortly, but let's go down the line then. OK, here we go. Tom Park is with us, making his debut on RP Live.
Hello, mate.
Great to have you with us.
Yeah,
Weekly's editor.
Yep, yeah. No, I can't wait. Flat's back. Bit of a punting day today. It's kind of a watch and learn kind of sphere. But,
yeah, listen, you can't back in every race today, can you? It's one for small stakes today, probably, isn't it?
Yeah, I've talked myself into backing a few. It was going to be an easy day, but you know what it's like.
Every puzzle must be solved,
That's
Tom.
exactly it.
Let's keep going down the line then.
Is.
Robbie Wilders is with us, my lord. Nice of you to dress up for us, Rob, today.
Well, I'm known for wearing casual gear, and I thought I'm not going to smarten up.
Fully fledged member of the tipping department now.
Yeah, good to be here, yeah.
The anti-postman.
Yep, self-proclaimed.
Self-proclaimed.
But it's catching on, though, isn't
not
it?
even Tom Segal named himself prize-wise. No, he didn't.
How did that name come about?
Oh, it's a long story. We haven't got
previous fellow,
enough time now, but yeah, absolutely. He did step into some big shoes. And having wintered well, James Millman returns as well, pressing the buttons for Betfair today. James, welcome back.
Welcome back. Flat is back, and it's good to be back.
Keeping it brief for us today?
We'll try to. Good to see Robbie's already got in there first. You said you were going to really lay into him about that self-imposed anti-post tag.
There's plenty
of
of
time.
time.
He's already beat you to it.
Completely own it,
You
mate.
do own it. You do own it.
If
Listen,
I was embarrassed.
Look, it is a bit of a change-up today, guys, isn't it? And look, we've got over Cheltenham Week. We can still have a bit of Cheltenham chat. If you want to get interactive with us, do, of course, like and subscribe on YouTube, then get involved. You can see the chat firing up on YouTube. Facebook Live, you can get involved, and, of course, anything on Twitter, hashtag RP Live as well. Now, we had to pick ourselves up after a hell of a week last Saturday for the Midlands National. We weren't sure what was going to happen. This is the beauty of the show. If you're new to it, could we possibly repeat this today? His legs in the back of that third line. You can't be doing that. Come on, Beauport. Keep going. This is one of these grinders. Come on, Beauport. He just keeps going, Beauport. You need to just grind.
Long way to go yet, Dave.
Look, Buto's picking himself up in between the hurdles. It just looks like a different sort of animal.
Is this the trifecta?
Come on, big up, up we come.
Is this the trifecta?
Hang on a minute. Nat's
stay-
on the trifecta.
Nat's on the trifecta.
This would be unbelievable.
On Boot Hill.
This is unbelievable. Come on, Beauport. Dave Orton's Napper's in front. Boot Hill went really short. He's hitting the pain barrier now. Panic Attack is third. The combination trifecta is going to happen somehow. I think Buto's going to take his measure, not second
Don't
again.
let me down,
Beauport, get up
Panic
over.
Attack.
No, that was a
Don't
really
let me
good jump by
down, Panic
Beauport.
Attack.
I'm loving this all the way. Come on, Beauport, your day in the sun. Trifecta for Natalie Green as well.
It's
The
not
RP,
there.
yes. Come on,
I'm
aye,
gonna
what's
go
third?
mental.
Come on,
I'm
what's
gonna
third?
go
It's a long
mental.
way there. Yes! Happy days. A winning nap for Dave Orton somehow, but I've been usurped by my pal all week, Natalie Green, has absolutely knocked it out the park, Barry Orr.
I'm going to be insufferable. Insufferable.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you, she was insufferable. Absolutely, the brilliant Natalie Green. Barry, let's go to Dublin then. That was some moment. We needed it as well, didn't we? A combination trifecta, never been done before, and it landed.
Yeah, she's it was quality moment for sure. I don't think many have been put up. In fairness, now you want to have some constitution putting up a trifecta, especially around there the way the ground was last weekend. But yeah, fair play to her. Great job.
Yeah, so Barry, you're with us again today. 9 races, all change, isn't it? Of course, they go to the Curragh, don't they? We've got a little bit of jumping at Kelso as well, haven't we? And Kempton as well. We're going to give the money back offer in the 205. But have we got a bit of business first and foremost?
Yeah, we certainly do. But like you say, in the 205, it's the money back special on the Betfair Sportsbook and Exchange. Your horse fails to place in that race, you get your money back up to a tenner. Check out the website for T's and C's there. 205, that is in Kempton. We're going to do a lucky 15 first, please, James.
Yeah, right.
That's 15 bets, obviously. It's 6 doubles, 4 trebles, an accumulator, and 4 singles. First is going to be in the 115 Empire State of Mind. The Spring Mile, please.
Got him at 130
Second
currently.
leg. Second leg is Mujtaba in the Lincoln. 6 places on the Betfair Sportsbook in the Lincoln as well, so that's a really decent concession. The third leg then is Furious in the 240 in Kempton. That's the Stayers race. And the last leg we're going to put in is a 135 in Kelso. It's Lovely Moon. Like him if he can get off in front. He's a big price as well. So we're doing it for £1 each way. Like I said, 15 bets, £1 each way means we're investing £30 in total on the Betfair Sportsbook there.
Yeah, Furious 13-2. And the last one, you've gone big price. I think we're at 20-1. He's
Yeah,
Lovely
25 or
Moon
33 even. Lovely Moon,
Kelso.
please. Yeah. That's in Kelso, the 135.
And the old MacBook. Yeah, not so good as you need better technical handling in this one, as the old laptop is playing up.
You're a bit rusty, Mr. Millman.
I am 20-1, so he has been backed, Barry. I think your money's already been on for Lovely Moon. So
That looks like an absolute nightmare race for me, that one, Barry.
I just thought Lovely Moon, like he won a handicap by 18 lengths in Clonmel. He's a horse that he's having his third run in the UK for his new connections. If he got a soft lead in front, he can take a bit of pegging back.
£6,633.79 will be the payout.
Lovely. All right, we got it. Well done, guys. All right, and you can see Barry's lucky 15 there. Listen, guys, again, it is one of these days. Safe gambling at Betfair and, of course, at the Racing Post is our MO. And I don't know, that race for me will be a sit-out. It's very rare that Dave Orton doesn't give a tip in a race. So I'm glad that Barry has found one, because I'm finding that quite difficult. When you look at these Kelso races, it's the Go North series, of course, isn't it? So some misleading form figures with horses trying to get qualified.
Very true, yeah. There's one Demi Sang that's kind of taken my interest. I know his rider's not won for God knows how long.
Yeah.
But he ran a perfectly respectable race, I thought, at Sedgefield last time. It was his third run in 25 days. Got him qualified for this, freshened up since.
So you've managed to talk yourself into one of that
I
as well?
have, yeah. I mean, as I said, like you, I was looking at it thinking, well, where am I going to go with this? But yeah,
Head hurts.
Yeah, once you get on one and...
So a lucky 15 is a good way to go today, basically, guys. And you've seen Barry's there. Well done, James, for getting that on. Shall we have a look at the Brocklesby, Barry? Again, talking about head hurting. Lovely to see the 2-year-olds out, isn't it? But no form to go on.
Yeah.
The market is obviously pointing firmly towards one.
Yeah, yes, and it has been for quite some time. When we first went up with the race, Persian Force was favoured, and it's hardened as well. There's been £266,000 on the Betfair Exchange, which is a great barometer in these races. £266,000 matched so far, and 186 of it has been on the favourite. So that'll just give you an indication. He's 2.02 at the moment, which is just even money. Blatant is 10.5, 13.5, Kiss and Cuddles, Beach Breeze 10, Jiffy Boy 18 now on the exchange. That was the Springer and the sports books overnight at the 48 and 24-hour stage. Some put it in at 40. It was backed into 9-2 at some firms at one stage. Very illiquid markets, you'd have to imagine there. Wouldn't take a lot of money to move them, but he seems to be finding his correct level again around there. What we're going to do, Dave, just to showcase the exchange, anyone who backs Persian Force at even money, I think you'd need your brains examined. I know he's an expensive colt at £225,000, but, these unraced, we haven't seen any of these 2-year-olds yet. Obviously, there could be anything in here. So I'd prefer to be a layer at evens than a backer. So we're going to take 50 quid out of him, James, please, at 202. We're not going to set our own price here. We're happy to be a price taker.
He's just gone
because I think he's going to drift out realistically. Okay, well, 204, James. Take 50 quid of the backer stake out of him. We're going to a liability of 54 quid.
Lovely, Barry. All right, so the hot favourite in the Brocklesby, Barry, it's a lay for him. Shall we go down the line? Now, I'm going to give you the floor here because you need your head examined, James. You are backing him.
Well, I think he's a certainty. Look.
Well, from someone that's won the Brocklesby, of course.
2005, Phantom Whisperer.
2005, Millman's won the Brocklesby.
Not myself, the old man did. Look, he's a son of Mamas. He's early, cost £220,000. Almo Racing, you get sacked if you don't win within a couple of runs. Hannah's going to have him pretty sharp and ready to go. The issue is a lot of his rivals, Richard Fye, no runners this year. Mark Johnson's run it in the past, but son of Fitzsteps in the stand. The breeding suggests he might be better over a little bit further. David Evans, he can get them ready, but last season, most of the 2-year-olds needed their first run. apart from Cho, who's extremely well back. So I don't think it's a particularly strong Brocklesby. This looks like it can run from the sail ring anyway, and the way it's been backed does suggest a Hannon professional performance would ensue. So I wouldn't be backing anything else against him. Yes, he's skinny enough with juveniles having their first run, but you can gather a lot of information from what stables have done in the past. If they've never had a good first time out winner, it's unlikely to happen this time around. So for a lot of these trainers, they're not well known for first time out winners. So I do think there's not many to consider, probably Beach Breeze and Persian Force. And I know someone likes last year's winning trainer, Eve Johnson Houghton.
Yeah, me and Parky do. I'm not sure what the Wilders likes in this. Robbie?
The horse I liked is a non-runner.
Oh, right, okay.
I've
That's a
put
good
up an
start for you,
unbelievable
Rob.
case on the postcard
I still
yesterday.
have faith. Oh, that was Ian Williams' also,
Yeah,
was it?
son of
So you're sitting
expert
this one
eye.
out, yeah, just watching?
I'm going to have to, yeah. I
You
mean,
are going to have to.
I'm fascinated by this favourite who could be pretty good as a...
Well, Hannon's never won this, so you've done something that the Hannons haven't done, Millman.
Senior may have done in the past, but interesting.
No, he hasn't. He's
Senior not at
There's
all
no
either.
Hannon on the roll call of honour.
Not back to like 1970s.
Oh, I don't know about
pretty
that.
mental, that.
We like blatant, don't we? Chipotle, however you say it.
Yep.
Chippy, as they call him in the yard. You said it's
Well, it's the
you
only
can't
one.
do it again.
It's the only one she's ever had. The other 2-year-olds were with a traditional needing a lot of time. And
But
it's a
he
bit
went
awkward.
on to be pretty good, Parky, didn't he?
He did. I think he won the Windsor Castle, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a stat for you, Dave.
Here we go.
Progeny of Brazen Bow.
Yes.
Which is the sire of...
Brazen Bow to anyone else out there.
Brazen Bow, whatever. 7th and 34, juveniles making their debut over the minimum trip, plus £36.20. That'll do for me in a race like this.
Happy days. Was that put up
think
in one of our
Betfair-
weeklies then at the start?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
You've nicked it, have you?
Mr. Mount.
Oh, Andrew Mount, who, of course,
Mount,
sits on this
has
show,
been
the
on
professor.
before, yeah.
Okay.
So that's from his, yeah. It was in the weekend of this week. Obviously, Eve Johnson Houghton, she's won it. I think Betfair gone 4 places this race.
I'll tell you what, you're going to like Parky, Barry.
Yeah.
4 places,
I
is it?
like that already, Tom. You can come again.
Very kind of Betfair to do that.
Yeah, so
we'll
you're taking advantage of that,
I
are
am,
you?
yeah.
Happy
I think,
days.
look, you've got to take the favourite on. You're getting 4 places
Yeah.
each way. I mean, who knows in this
A
race?
very solid start for Tom Park on Racing Post Live. He's given us a stat. He's done his homework. You've started with a non-runner.
Yeah, I mean...
The only way is up, Wilders. I'm telling you.
Might not have much insight for the rest of the race.
Have you put something up for the Lincoln, just out of interest?
Yeah, Notre Bell Bets.
Yeah. Was that an
really-
anti-postman?
Nah, it wasn't.
Robbie does a weekly email called
Yeah.
the Anti-Postman. We have a bit of a joke about it. One's going crazy down there. Is that the Bill Turner horse?
Turner's Havana
No,
Grey
what time, Mary,
Gelding.
Yeah, that
First.
was into 12-1. Bill Turner, of course, this used to be Bill's race, didn't it? But the fractious 2-year-olds are back. This is always good fun, though, isn't it, watching 2-year-olds? There's something quite exciting about it. It's the first race at the Curragh, of course, coming up, and it's 125. They're coming out as well, so they're back. We'll talk a little bit about the fact that there's no turf racing until goodness knows when after this. It is a bit bizarre, isn't it? The jockey's got a holiday as well this week. Did you notice
They
that?
deserve a holiday. Did you
Well,
not think?
yeah, but all of them are moaning about it because they're saying, what? I won't tell you who had a real
let's
pop at
name
me about
names.
it. I'm not going to name names, actually. But someone said, what if I tell Mr. Haggis that I'm taking a holiday the week before the Lincoln? I can't go on holiday. They've had to do all the work, haven't they, for this meeting?
When's the
they're getting
next
in.
flat turf meeting? Then?
That's a very good question. Joseph
Friday at
probably know that.
Leicester.
Friday
Leicester.
at Leicester.
that's not that long.
It does seem a bit weird, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Yeah,
but-
Easter falling, obviously, in a strange place over here, isn't it? So Scottish National before Grand National. It's a weird world at the moment, but we're delighted to be doing it all. And this is going to be good fun. So fast and furious stuff. I'll call some of the races. If we get time, we'll go to Barry as well in between. I'm not sure we're going to be able to do that, Barry, in this, but 5 furlongs. Well, we're not going to learn much from the draw. I mean, we're not even mentioning the Spring Mile. 8 runners in the Spring Mile.
Shocking.
Down
Twitter
from
went
I thought it was
mental
9.
about that, didn't it?
I mean, it was full. It used to be Max Field only a few years ago, I think, wasn't it?
Well, even last year, you
Yeah,
had 22.
Keels had a bee in his bonnet about that yesterday.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah, he wasn't happy about it. He said the flat game is in a lot of trouble. But look, we'll get to that. Let us know what you think. Good luck wherever you're playing in the Brocklesby. Barry taking on the favourite. Myself and Parky hoping that Blatant does what James Millman doesn't think Eve Johnson Houghton is capable of doing and winning 2 races in succession. And Millman, he's all over the favourite.
Barry's got the market right, though. 2.24 now.
Is that right?
Force. So it has got matched at 2.02. So we've beaten the machine
We
already.
haven't missed this, have we? Waiting for them to load.
Well, it's first day at school.
I mean, we moan about full starts on jumps, but this is tricky. And they're off. Okay, we're away. Oh, and what a mixed bag of a start that was. The thing to tell you is that Mark Johnson and Charlie Johnson now, of course, the joint licence holders, they are in front with Beach Breeze going down the middle as well. The favourite, very well away. Also looking for Blatant. We're getting a nice little lead there. Parky.
Following the favourite, I think, by the looks of things.
Look at these. Talk about first day at school.
Yeah, he looks like he's struggling a bit now, doesn't he?
Yeah, we're already off.
Favourite looks like he's going to dance in. Favourite five's on.
Favourite's going to win easy.
Five's on.
Look at him.
Okay.
Seven's on.
Well, Richard Hannon has never won the Brocklesby, but there was a lot of pressure on this, said
now.
James Millman, and he is absolutely cruising a
Blatant's
furlong out,
getting
pressing
his
the buttons.
idea going
Blatant's
now, though.
getting his idea, but no, this is all over, isn't it? What's this out in
good
front
horse.
with him in the yellow colours?
Darryl Holland's runner, the
think
acclaimed
he
filly.
wins
Darryl
Distance.
Holland, Primrose Ridge is there, but this is a whoosh job.
That's a Royal
Now.
Ascot 2-year-old, if you ask me.
That's a Royal Ascot
Yeah,
2-year-old?
Very much
Right, his
so.
observation of the
First
day.
mention of Royal Ascot, would you believe it, in March. There you go. And I'll tell you what, the late Gamble, if you got on the Jiffy Boy last night, David Probert, a sharp early 2-year-old. But Barry, let's come to you. The Brocklesby, it's already done. It was over a long way out.
Yeah, it certainly was. He with a furlong and a half the race, he was fives on, he was sevens on a couple of yards after that. He's absolutely slooshed in. A Betfair SP at 2.14. Not much else you can say about it, Dave. He's picked it up and he's went away. He'll probably get quoted for a couple of the 2-year-old races in Ascot, maybe the Coventry or something like that.
Yes, Norfolk, Coventry. Already getting these quotes out. We've still got 2 nationals to go. 3 nationals, of course. Let's not forget Fairyhouse, absolutely. So it's a little bit of a strange time, isn't it? I saw a great question, actually, in the chat that I'm going to go to before I get some impressions from the guys. What was the last Brocklesby winner, said Iron Smiler, to go and win a 2-year-old Group 1?
The last line.
Was it the last line?
Some knowledge.
That was. Has he knocked you out of the park there, Iron Smiler, one of our regular viewers? That would be insufferable, wouldn't it?
We won a
Never mind
Group
Natalie
1.
Green, this is you.
Heart of Fire, Pat Edories, that ended up winning a Group 1.
Great knowledge. This is what you get on this show, boys. You've got to raise your games a little bit. You said immediately.
Last year's winner, Vintage Clarets, got beat in this race.
Yeah, Chipotle, wasn't it? Was it the Red Car Trophy that he won as well in the end? Wasn't it? Or something
Listed.
like that? And it was the Windsor Castle as
That was listed as well.
yeah. So, but look, it's very difficult. But this is look, we have no idea about the form, Rob, do we?
No,
But
we don't. But how far has he won that? About 6-7 lengths?
pretty
I can't
scorching,
remember
isn't
a
it?
Brocklesby winning that easily in the last
And there
few
will
years.
be a lot of people out there that are just, who play the markets and stuff, Parky, and have just gone, well, it's Hannon, it's a mixed bag race. I'm very happy with even money. Thank you very
Oh
much.
yeah, absolutely. Certainly when the money came for it. I mean, if there's ever a race, you probably should trust the market. It is a race like this, but it was very impressive, wasn't it? I mean, it's different league to them.
Yeah.
Look at it go.
Memas, of course, was his great sprinter, wasn't it, James? So where do we go with this then?
National Stakes. Probably the Royal Ascot trial, actually, at Ascot.
Yes.
In April. You qualify, win and you're in for...
Which Chipotle went to after this from memory.
he did. And then it's National Stakes.
Cigaro Stakes Day, is that?
That is Cigaro Stakes Day, yeah. First meeting in April. You have a little bit of race planning knowledge.
You're making me raise
Potentially be
my
in that
game.
trainer's office, sorting out the entries.
I'm keeping it brief like you. How are the 2-year-olds going then at the Millman
We ain't
stable?
got one like that.
You haven't got one like that. You did have a Royal Ascot runner though last year, didn't you? Amazonian Dream.
Yeah, he was second to...
I think you were in the show
Virtual
when we were
Warrior.
doing it. Do you remember?
I was the day before.
Well,
I said he'd run okay at 50-1, but
Yeah.
he lost the plot before the start.
Yeah,
We
got
got
it was
his full-
50-1 after the gates opened.
Well, he struggled to get him to the start. But we got his full brother, Safari Dream. He's quite nice.
Okay.
Bit bigger, a bit more backward. But
It was a
hopefully
good
mid-season.
season last year for you though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all right.
He doesn't
Average.
like, he's high standards.
We
Rob,
had
this guy is.
we had Adam Ryan in when I was in one day, and then he had all the Group 1 winners. And
You were with a Group 1 winning trainer. yeah.
our best racer, the 0 to 100 at Doncaster, wasn't quite such a highlight. But yeah, it was a good year. Better horses, more valuable yearlings this year, or 2-year-olds this time around. But you see, that was £220,000. We don't have that kind of budget, and you can see what that buys.
When would Hannon have had to get that started?
It would have been all the same as what most yards have been broken in, probably November, and then away you went. He's got so many. I expect they work as a group, and that one has literally just gone clear of his rivals at home. So they knew he was much better than what they've got. And bearing in mind the substance and numbers that they have, if he could do that at home, it was no surprise that the money was down. And like I say, when you're training for ammo, you have very limited opportunities for them because they just move them. So you need to get it right. So
Yeah.
I think, yes, it was a short price, but there's so much that you knew he would like to be primed for today.
Who's the horse that you had finished second in the Ledger last year?
Mojo Star.
Yeah, that's
Which
it,
one?
Mojo
Mojo Star. Give someone else a chance, James. Jumping in, do you know what I mean?
I'd have got that one, I think.
We have missed him, haven't we? We put him away for the winter.
You did
But
put
you're
him
like
back in the
that
box
favourite
rest.
Persian horse. You're ready to go first time out, James, and I love it. Okay, it's going to be interesting over the next couple of weeks. These 2-year-olds start to emerge. Anything that's back from Hannon's now, we'll just be expecting it to win. Let's get some social interaction on the screen. Who opens it up? Iron Smiler, great knowledge, James. He won the Middle Park, so this was the last line. Has been infertile at stud. Yeah, he is. He's running tonight at Kempton, isn't he? Or this afternoon. The last line is an 8-year-old for Mark and Charlie Johnston. I have to get used to saying Charlie and Mark Johnston now, aren't we? Charlie, of course, Mark's son's.
Sorry, is it Mark or Charlie first?
It's Charlie first.
Charlie first.
Yeah.
Preference to the younger.
Is that preference to the younger or
Probably alphabetical, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah.
It's John and Thade, isn't it? So, on the race card.
Absolutely,
Thade is
we're
younger.
seeing it.
No one comes before John, though.
Ollie and
Certainly
Paul
not,
Cole,
no.
isn't it? So, yeah, all right. We're seeing plenty more of them, aren't we? Actually running tonight. Good luck to the last line. Great social interaction from one of our regulars there. Absolutely loving it. He also seems to think I'm sponsored by Ralph Lauren, which is probably about right, isn't it? Often got the polo player on. OK, right, we've got to move on. There's the Betfair SB then. That's what you get on the exchange. Nice bit of value there. Barry, OK. Here's the head hurt race for me. If I had a chance, I'd be at the bar, Barry, unlike you.
It is a bit of a head scratcher, all right. But Son of Psalm's your favourite at 3.45, so just 5-2 Son of Psalm. 9.0 Headscarf, Lil Romeo Brown 10, 11.5 Diamond State. Demi Sang 20, 19 back Rocky. The horse I like in it is, I have to scroll all the way down and under the fold. Lovely Moon is currently trading at 32 on the win and the exchange. We're going to have 25 quid win and place here. And we're going to take 4 places. It's 4 places on the sports book here as well, folks. But Lovely Moon, ex-Declan Queally, won a handicap in Clonmel off 85 in December 21. Front running tactics were employed for the first time there. He's with George Bewley in the UK now. He showed some promise last time when he was 6 to better get along in Carlisle back in February. He's rated 105 now. He was 113 when he first went to England. So he's been dropped 8 pounds by the nice UK handicapper. But if he gets a soft lead in front, he could take a bit of pegging back. So just backing him on, going back to those couple of runs in Ireland when he showed some real promise front running tactics. So happy to be a backer at the odds there. So 32. Thanks, James. And in the 4th place market, what price are we on, James?
4 places, 5.3 for the 4 places.
Lovely.
OK.
Excellent. And it's 4 places on the sports book as well, the each way punters.
Great stuff. All right, we're warming up then. 1 race down. Brocklesby, already done. Not getting any pointers towards the Lincoln, are we, from that Spring Mile? A lot of the fancied runners in the Lincoln at 3.35 drawn low. Do you pay much attention to that? I mean, the last 3 winners have been so well handicapped, they could have won from anywhere, couldn't they?
Well, the Spring Mile is normally your real guide to what draw's going to help, but if there are only 8 runners, they're going to race in a group, probably in the centre of the track or in one side. So you're not going to have much help. It's interesting, low, a lot of the nice unexposed ones are drawn very low, which normally isn't where you want to be. So interesting to see how it pans out. But I think it is best horses, best pace. For me, I'd probably still be sticking low, even though recent years you want to be higher.
That's interesting, isn't it? All right, we'll get back to that. Let's have a look at this Kelso race then.
Loose one at Curragh.
Oh, yeah, the Curragh 2-year-olds are off as well, and one's been... Gosh, it's some game, this, isn't it? Great to see him back. There's sun shining at the Curragh as well, like it is over here. Wherever you're watching, welcome to the show. If you're just joining, I'll see a few more viewers are coming on now. And myself, Dave Orton. Tom Park, newbie to the show. Robbie Wilders, also making his flat debut on the show. And James keeping it brief, Millman, along with Barry Orr with you this afternoon. We're going to have some fun. We're going to hopefully point you in the way of the winners. Like I say, I'm sitting this one out, guys. I came in the office, of which Parky had been in nice and early. And you was beavering away, doing a lot of study, which is what we like for this show. And I thought, I can't put one up for the sake of it. You can't be doing that, can you? So give us some help. Yeah,
as I said earlier, I've talked myself into backing Demi Sang. I don't know if you remember, he was a horse for Willie Mullins back in the day. I think he ran in the Irish Arkle behind Footpad. He's come down a long way since then.
Was he McManus?
He was McManus, yeah.
JP horse.
Yeah.
He seemed to be revitalised since he's gone to Sarah Ender. He's won 2 from his last 4 starts. Interestingly, he had 3 of them runs in a close space of time. His last run, he was 5th at Sedgefield.
Yeah.
But it's qualified him for this. Put a line through that. The rider, I think he said, was 1 from 94, but it was on this fella.
And I said to you, I don't know much about Serender. I don't know much about Jack Hogan. He's won from 94, and you said,
Well, he's due one.
there you are.
Well, yeah, but he did win on this fella the other week, so
yeah.
he's.
So we know he can do the business.
Yeah, and
He was second on it the time before, actually, wasn't he, as well?
he was. Yeah, I mean, there was nothing not to like. I didn't think about that last run, especially given they're trying to get him qualified for this. I think they'll have freshened him up. I've talked myself into backing it. It's a bit of a minefield, I'm not going to lie. But he's just the one that stood out. He's got that touch of class about him. He seems to. I think he'll love the ground as well.
There's a short price favourite in this, though, still, isn't there, Rob?
There is. And
for the-
also, he's quite, again, like on these Saturdays, you're getting such good place turns, 14 runners, 4 places. The one I wasn't bullish, but I quite like Sheriff Garrett. I put him up on the postcast yesterday, but he's about 8 to 1 then, and now he's about 20 to 1. So I'm going to have to go back in because the golden rule of punting for me is to back your drifters that you like.
Paul Keeley's rule.
Keep
of
going
course.
in, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Keep topping up.
Yeah.
But he won well last time at Sedgefield. It was up £7. Goes on any ground, just in really good form. And I don't really understand why he's drifted so much, to be honest.
You do have an out-the-box way of looking at things. I mean, we're sort of introducing Parky and Robbie a bit. But look, loads of people know you from the papers and from the postcasts as well. But Rob, you do obviously look for things that are
Try my best,
outstanding
yeah.
price-wise.
Yeah, and I would kind of stake the same amount as I would on a 20 to 1 shot and a 3 to 1 shot, really.
Yeah, okay.
I think I don't like to raise my stakes the shorter the price. Keep it consistent across the board.
Robbie Wilders talking there. Mr. Millman.
I don't like the race, to be honest.
You're with me.
Northern staying final. A lot of these have been obviously running at the lower grade. 30 grand, it's a great prize. I like Demi Sang. I was a little bit worried about Jack Hogan, just his lack of experience, but Tom makes good points. He won the horse. And actually, he had one winner in Ireland from 96, had a couple over in the UK. So it's not big enough to say definitely don't back it, but I have looked elsewhere and I've gone for a jockey. I think it's great value for his 10, Conor McCann, riding Diamond State. Stamina would be the query, but I think with 4 places on the sportsbook, if you back him each way, that would be where I'd be heading with Diamond State. And in a race I don't like, I was keeping an eye on the 2-year-olds over at Curragh. Sioux Nation, first runner, first winner for Jesse Harrington. Ocean Quest got up in the shadows of the post.
Jesse
So
Harrington wins first race
Isn't
in
he the
Ireland.
favourite to be top first season sire this year?
Is he? He was Adrian O'Brien's sprinter, wasn't he? Soon
Yeah, won the
Yeah,
Phoenix.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
So it's a cracking start for Jesse and 11 to 2, that winner there. So
Yeah, she can get them ready, can't she? Absolutely. Yeah.
So just touched off.
yeah, Adrian Murray, I think the Aguiar training breeze organisation are keeping a few over in Ireland because that was another expensive one and it knew its job, it just got caught in the line. But
We're talking first season sires already. Okay. So Barry, let's come to you then. We've spoken. Is there anything? Where are the cues? I mean, obviously we've got Brian Hughes on a short price favourite. I don't know. He looks a bit vulnerable to me though. Oh, Barry was deep in thought there. We shall let him gather back and we shall go. You mentioned Conor McCann.
yep,
He's 4 from 12, isn't he? last
4 from 12 years, yes.
So I have spoken to Lucinda and Peter Skew about this chap before. They have got high hopes.
I don't know if he was injured because another £10 claim in the yard. I rode him the last twice, and he's a little bit more time needed in the saddle.
It
so
would be a yard that you would try and get into if you were a young northern
it's a yard that
jockey,
A
isn't
uses its own jockeys in-house. Derek Fox,
festival winner, of course.
Peter Skew couldn't exactly learn from anyone better.
Still does a lot of the work, doesn't he?
They bring a lot of jockeys through, and it's
Is
a
Corrick
great-
Rambert going to line up in the Scottish National next week?
I'm not sure what that was an incredible performance. What a ride!
Was that ride of the week for you? A lot of people, we've talked about that on this show
there
quite a bit, Parky.
there was so many. It probably was. Yeah, I think it was. That's the one that I've not really given it much thought, Dave. But I think, yeah, that was a brilliant ride. It was one of the rides of the last few years. I thought. I mean, it's just brilliant. He's a class jockey though, Derek Fox. I mean, taking off the horse's class as well. I mean, he'd have a right chance if he turns up next week. I think.
Kitty's light
I
is
think he was
very
going to
short,
go.
isn't it?
I think he might have won that grade 2 at Ascot if he didn't fall. To be honest, before
The
that.
Reynoldstown.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
going all right, wasn't he?
Going
Well,
really
that's
well.
what preserved his mark, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's why people
Yeah.
backed it, I think.
He's-
I notice you're getting quite serious now, Robbie. The goggles have gone up.
Yeah,
Rodway does this quite
These
a lot,
aren't.
doesn't he?
These are blue light glasses.
What does that even mean?
So they're good. They're good for your eyesight when you're looking at screen. We all look at screens a lot, don't we? I mean, I'm looking at Parky's brightness here. I'm thinking, I'll worry for his eyes long term. I would prescribe a pair of blue lights.
It's nice to know you're so concerned.
not wearing them.
No,
He
I'm
does,
not
right?
wearing them.
Do you not find though when you put your head down at night, it's all a bit fuzzy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Right. There you go. That's what we get from Robbie Wilders. We're just watching him going at Kempton as well. So we've got some good racing at Kempton today. Fancy Man in the 205. That's the money back special offer, of course, with Betfair on the way. And we've got the Queen's Prize, which is one of the most long-established staying handicaps. We really like winning that. Don't give it away.
No, we won't give it away. Disappointing prize money, isn't it? You say it's one of those long-established handicaps.
I really like this Kempton
only
card.
25 grand on offer, but yes, it's a cracking race. Probably not what it used to be when it was on the turf back in your heyday, Dave.
Well, absolutely.
The fella's in his heyday now, isn't he?
What me?
You're not doing too bad, man.
I'm doing all right. Thank you, Robin. That's nice to have some, absolutely. Did you notice in that clip when we started the show that I had to say, I actually had to shout twice that Beauport was my nap? You've got to give yourself, as much self-praise as you can.
Praise, Dave
We've had this before.
I've told you before, yes.
We've had this before. We
Self-praise,
won't mention
no praise.
trumpets, Jones, but absolutely. But so you have to get it. George Murray comes on. There we are. Look, one for you, James. Millman showing good early speed.
Might not last that long, but never mind.
Yeah. Did you ride a lot of 2-year-old winners when you were in the sun?
None
Sharp
first time out, no.
Never rode a first time out 2-year-old winner.
We used to be a jock.
We were always educational rides first time. Second time, we had a good strike rate second time.
All right, say no more.
Both me and the horse was a bit nervous probably heading to the start. So
I get it.
just get from A to B in one piece.
Yeah. You look like you could have been. Yeah, you've got the sort of build of a. Yeah,
I did about 10 years ago. Yeah.
If we were going to do like someone on a horse, I mean, they've tried to get me and Rob Way thinking about it, but no one brave enough.
No one's putting the bear.
Not
on
even
the horse.
Posty would put us up. Charlie Pose, 15
Well,
stone
I'm
minimum.
Posty, mate. So.
Well, you are the new Posty.
Don't call him Posty.
You've got the look of you could have been a jockey.
Could have been
You've
a
got the
jockey
look of
like
you could have been a
Birmingham.
valet.
Yeah, I'm about 6'5", so.
You could have been a good valet. It might be something you want to consider down the line. Right, Barry, I can hear you clicking away. This market favourite seems to be getting shorter all the time. None of us have put him up.
Yeah, he's into 2-1 now, 3.10 on the Betfair Exchange, 9.2 head Scarf Lil. Some money for Diamond State, 11 from 12. Then he sang out to 25. The horse that I backed in the race again is out to 34 now as well. So, yeah, it's all about the favourite at the top of the market, obviously taking up, 33% of the book.
All right, then. Yeah, it's Ellison, isn't it? And it's Mr. Brian Hughes as well. He's again... Let's talk about Brian Hughes a little bit, shall we? While we're waiting for the guys to jump off at Kelso, they'll be down at the start if you want to get involved. And he's just cleaned up, hasn't he? Absolutely cleaned up. Bit weird he's not at Cheltenham, Parky.
I wasn't listening there, Dave. I was back. I thought 25 was far too big about Demi.
You've gone in again on
Betfair, so I've
Demi
gone
Sang,
in again, yeah.
I didn't know this race was going to be so popular. Brian Hughes, cleaned up. Surprised he's not at Cheltenham?
I'm not, but he's off and racing.
Oh,
at
okay.
Kelso.
I'll let you hang on to that thought. We can do that during the race if you want.
That is a shame.
They are off and running then. All right, I'm going to have to get my heads around this because there are a lot of colours that I won't be used to with this Go Northern Series. But Romeo Brown is up there. I saw some love for that in the chat. Good luck if you have played that way. I'm looking for Brian Hughes then. Is he right up there on Son of the Somme? He's got that lovely stalking Brian Hughes path. The box seat. Good coin of phrase already from Millman there. You're regressing slightly. That was a cliche. Where's Diamond State, James?
You've just abused me, so no. I'll leave you to carry on and find your own horses.
He's mid-div. Where's Lovely Moon? Because you were hoping for a freebie, Barry.
In front.
Yeah, he's not getting it.
Well, he's...
They're hacking around. They're not going too quick.
Oh,
hang on. There's some carnage. Oh, dear. OK, one's gone. Let's see if we can pick up the silks out the back. Very difficult to see, actually. The exchange will tell us
Diamond State.
It was. James. Diamond State. Conor McGann.
I think that jockey's either getting a real bad fall.
The poor lad.
That didn't look good. We'll try and get the guys in the galleries to keep an eye on that for us. We can now concentrate solely on Kelso, I'm delighted to say. Frightened Rabbit. Keel's made a good... If you're watching this Saturday Sizzlers in your members club or your paper today, you will see that is up there as well. And Keels will be loving the fact that the ground looks... it's proper spring ground now, isn't it?
We've had 10 days of drying weather, so it's gone from being soft, heavy to drying out pretty quickly. So a few of them, Milton Harris, later on in the card, he's moaning that they don't put too much water on.
We all like that Milton Harris mare, don't we? By the way, coming up in our second 2 races we're bringing you from Kelso. What's that right out the back? Let's pick some up for you then. And for those of you that don't have the pictures, Idyllico out the back, who is a bit of a hold-up monkey. Headscarf Lil also out the back as well with Back Rocky, Ryan Mania, Sandy Thompson. There will be no doubt having a good old assault at the Scottish National next week. Ground for Scottish National, they'll be open for a bit of precipitation.
I think there is forecast from Wednesday onwards.
Is there?
Yeah,
it needs to come, doesn't
it? Week, I think, yeah.
I don't know, but it's quite a nice sitting outside though, isn't it?
Beautiful.
As well.
Beautiful. Is that what you were doing before you came in?
Sat on the balcony,
Yeah, you look
looking
like
out
a
onto Tooley Street.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say where I live.
You are
should
in
I?
London now. No, don't say where you live. Whatever you do, they'll be coming outside for the
I don't
postman's
actually live
autograph.
there.
Yeah, okay, great stuff. Sheriff Garrett, finally, I've seen Sheriff Garrett. This is the drifter.
Yeah, he's about 16 horses wide though.
All
I mean,
right.
he's going nicely enough, but it's long enough.
Let's
Wait,
find Demi Sang for you, Parky, as well, right in the
Going
midfield.
all right in the middle, yeah.
Happy with that?
Yeah, happy enough, yeah.
You had a good Cheltenham, didn't you?
I did have very good Cheltenham, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully I haven't used all my winners up.
Commander of the
what was
Fleet
your
was
highlight,
Bruce
mate?
Millington's biggie, and you were all over that as well.
Yeah,
weren't you?
we had a right old tear up in the Sheephaven Bay.
You were getting a
Camden.
mention, I have to
Yeah,
say.
It was
yeah.
it was hellish, to be fair.
Is
It
that the
was,
best pub in London to watch racing in?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Best Guinness in London as well. If
Where
you're
is
a big
it?
fan of Guinness, it's Camden.
Not many pubs in London even show racing, do they?
No, I mean,
It's a faux pas, isn't it?
yeah, the owner Pat, big racing fan. I'm in a WhatsApp group with all of the locals in there called the Tipsy Tipsters. So
I hope they're watching today,
uh,
Parky. I
hopefully
hope
they
they're
will be
watching
watching
today.
a few.
We're on the far side then. This is a 2 mile 4 race, and they are just starting to stretch him out Barry Orr. What's price to Fav now then? He's in the box seat.
Yeah, he's 5 to 4. He's even shorter now. 2.18, 7.8 Romeo Brown. They're the two shortest in the betting at the moment. 7.2 Romeo. Lovely Moon. You can still back at 25.
Going all right.
I think Tom's each way shot. He doesn't look too bad, Jack Hogan.
Demi Sang.
Certainly
Yeah, you're keeping a look on the
chance
riders
to
here. Yeah, a
be
couple
in
are
the
starting
four.
to row away then, guys. This is where Kelso starts to get a bit tiring, isn't it? You're on a sort of gradual climb when they
It's a
come in,
stiff
aren't
old
they?
finish and a
That
bad
is a
angle.
stiff old finish, even on this ground. Sheriff Garrett now trying to make a move. Favourite being knuckled along on the inside a little bit. Let's see if he
3.6,
comes. Look at Demi
4.4.
Sang.
He's going along
Parky,
nicely,
you've got a
isn't
very
he?
studious look about you all of a sudden. Did he hit that one?
He jumped it all right.
Okay.
He's got it
We're
all
going to
wrong.
find out about his riding now, I think. though.
The favourite's coming. All right, what's this on the inside that's catching my eye? 3 Castles for Keith Dalgleish. Can he, Keith Dalgleish? He'd definitely be named at this. But 3 are going clear. Romeo Brown then.
Romeo
Listen-
Brown, your favourite now.
Lovely. All right, looks like
Who's
Lovely
on?
Moon's just feeling it a little bit. Let's hope he can keep on up the finish for Barry. Where's Demi Sang then? He's
He's about 5th. He's got half a
Just
chance
got
to get
hampered a
place,
bit
I
there.
think. He's a bit hampered.
Did he? Come on then, 2 out we are. Romeo Brown still the one to catch. Brian Hughes. When Brian Hughes goes for everything, you know there's not a lot under the bonnet. So I'd
He's
imagine
gone
the
up to
favourite is cooked
16s
now.
in the run.
We're looking for some closers. I hope you played the places here, Parky, because you might just sneak into one. But this
Yeah, you're
favourite
getting the
has absolutely fallen in a hole because the leader, Thomas Wilmot, Sue Smith, all he needs to do is get over it. 3 Castles is trying. Idyllico is trying. Looks like he's going to get. Looks like Demi Sang might get 4th.
get
Over he
4th,
goes. Good jump, Romeo Brown. Isn't it wonderful to see these jumpers in the sunshine on some proper spring ground? Appetite for the Scottish National meeting next week. Then, of course, we've got Aintree. All 3 days we'll be covering. But Romeo Brown, not Romeo Dunn, has got it. Did you get the 4th?
We got the 4th, yeah. Place money's in.
Nice start, Parky. All right, Barry. There we go. A long way out, I suppose. He must have gone very low. The Romeo.
Yeah, before that, the favourite traded at 2.16 in running, so just a little under 5 to 4. But he was 50 to 1 on jump at the last to winner, Romeo Brown. He's up there throughout. He had a Betfair SP at 10.5. He never traded any bigger than that in running at all. The favourite had a Betfair SP at 3.05, so a little over 2 to 1.
Thank you very much, Barry. OK, we're off and running at the Borders at Kelso. One more to come there. We'll be joining Kempton in around about 25 minutes' time as well. But back to the Town Moor and Donny we go. We've got 10 minutes. There's your Betfair SP up there. Look, tasty indeed. And well done all the socials out there that were putting that up in the chat. I was watching. A few of you got a few shekels to fire now, maybe at the Camage Trophy, which we shall get up. The Sprint series starts here. Are we fans of the Sprint series, or is it? It's an interesting one with punting, isn't
I
it?
don't really like sprints that much, to be honest.
I do.
Do you think they're inconsistent
Yeah.
sprinters? Yeah.
I love.
So volatile.
I just think I love watching sprints. Love having a bet in them. They're pretty hard sometimes to.
Favourite sprint? Off top of your head?
Oh, I love the Nunthorpe. I mean,
Good shout.
my favourite race of the whole flat calendar. I think. Love that meeting. Great race.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Robbie, favourite sprint?
Favourite.
Not that
I
you
don't know,
like them that
I don't
much.
really like sprint. Probably King's Stand. Just love Royal Ascot. Really.
Oh yeah.
But to be fair, with sprints, you do always get, you very rarely get a small field. I mean, to be fair, we've got 7 runners here. I've completely
You've just found a small field.
But generally, you don't. I'm just thinking that, I'm surprised Diligent Harry's favourite here, considering it's good to soft.
Well, let's
I think
go
it's
to
a fast
Barry,
ground horse.
because that is an interesting move, this, isn't it? I've put him up, Barry, Diligent Harry. I thought he might be the most ready of those reappearing.
Yeah, put him up as well. Obviously, the soft ground did him last year in Ascot in his final run, but what an improver he's been since he was a late bloomer, obviously. Didn't see him on the track didn't see him on the track. We only saw him for the first time in Jan 21. But I was putting him up as well, but I wouldn't be backing him at 2.88, which he currently is. He was a 3-1 chance. A 3-1 chance this time yesterday and 5-2. He's 7-4 now and 15-8. Garris is 3.2, 8 Bielsa, 15 Moclita. Mondemege, our old friend, is 20 and 22. A horse that done me a favour a couple of times last year, just another bottle. Not without a chance either. But yeah, I think I'm going to sit this out. I was going to be a backer of Diligent Harry, but I just think the price, there's no value in it at all in a competitive race now.
Yeah, I'll be with you. It's absolutely flip-flopping, isn't it? 'Cause again, I was talking to Paul Keeley yesterday, Saturday Scissors. He's put this up. You'll be seeing it on your app and your members club. This was his banker. He thought Chindit was the most likely other winner, but too short. He thought Garris was a very likely winner of this race.
Yeah, I agree with him. I think his form figures, I think, fresher 1-2-1-1 after a 50-day or more break, 50 days break or more. Best horse in the race on ratings anyway. Ground's in his favour. I don't really know what there isn't to like, really. I mean, I get the argument for Diligent Harry, but he's going to have to improve, I think, to beat Garris. Certainly, these conditions, first time out, I'm very much with him.
Very much a price thing, isn't it, this? And I thought Garris was going to be more like a 6-4. You can, if I was looking at this market yesterday, I probably would have swung that way as well. What slightly puts me off Garris is they experimented with the 7 furlongs. The race he won was a kind of conditions race, wasn't it? I don't know if is he a winner? That's my sort of worry about Garris.
This is the weakest race he's contested in ages, though.
Are you with him?
I mean, yeah, I've just backed him just now, actually. I would have, if the ground dried out more, I'd be more inclined to go Diligent Harry. I think he's the best long-term prospect in the field. But, I mean, it's Garris. You're talking about a horse who's finished within 4 lengths of Group
And he
1
does
winners
win
in
first
Group
time
1.
out. You're saying, is he a winner? He's very good first time out.
Yeah, that's it, Parky. Give it back.
He needs to be fresh, I think.
Okay.
Look at the horses. Look at races. Like, he's only beaten 3.5 lengths in a Sprint Cup. He's only beaten 3 3/4 lengths.
I mean, in fairness, De Hale, who he beat in France, when you're looking at it, he's pretty useful, isn't he, for Farber?
Oh, yeah, his form's rock solid. I mean,
okay.
as I said, Diligent Harry, I can see the argument for him, but he sets
Still got
a
to
good
do it on turf, hasn't he, Diligent Harry?
Yes, it's only his third turf run, isn't it?
You forget how lightly raced he is. Mr. Millman, we are, at the moment, all of us looking towards the top 2 in the markets.
Yeah, I think it's probably between the two. Garris has got the best form in the book. I just thought he looked a bit exposed last year, whereas Clive Cox, we know he can bring on these sprinters to be true Group 1 horses, and Garris isn't one of those. Now, last year, he obviously came in late, so he raced through the winter on Neil Weather, and he never really got a proper summer break to strengthen up. So, although he came back and it was 3 defeats, he only got beat a length at Newcastle on the Tapper and neck by Happy Romance. So that showed he handled turf. It was good to firm, and clearly rain softened ground at Ascot at the end of the season. Clive didn't particularly want to run him on that kind of ground. He took him out of the Commonwealth Cup, but end of the season, give him a go. So now he's had a full winter to strengthen up and develop. The market says he's developed pretty well, and I imagine he's been working very nicely with a lot of Clive's good sprinters. So for me, the ground, I think a 2-year-old's clocked under a minute. I know he's a good 2-year-old. I went over the Brocklesby, but it does suggest the ground's not bad. And I don't think it's going to be. Look at the weather. Sun's out. It's drying all the time.
Yeah.
Doncaster's been new drainage a few years ago, so it does drain pretty well. I wouldn't be using that as a big excuse, but
Diligent Harry.
the price is so
No,
strong.
it can't be that bad. No.
2.7. I'll be sticking with Diligent Harry, even though the price has gone wrong. More like probably Barry's angle, no bet, rather than betting Garris. I just think
he is looking very short now. Clive Cox expecting a big year. I think Clive is with some of his runners.
I expect a big year of Diligent Harry, but I'm just not sure this is going to be his day, to be honest.
He's got he's got a horse, running at
Get
Kempton
ahead.
today. Now, I was told by an owner in the yard midwinter when I was like, how's everything going at Clive's and all that sort of thing. This was one that was mentioned, Get Ahead the filly. And she runs, obviously we haven't
she'll
seen
have a
her
little
since Royal
canter
Ascot,
around
have
at
we?
Kempton.
But they like her a lot, and she runs in
We
the
haven't even
320.
mentioned the Air Gold Cup winner.
Bielsa. Well, I was getting to it, Barry, because Kevin Ryan has had 7 runners in this in the last decade. 6 of them have placed, and he runs all his well-known sprinters in this. Brando usually preps for the Abernant in this race. You imagine that Bielsa and just another bottle, who was the great St Wilfrid winner for Barry, I remember.
That's right.
They have got long seasons ahead. I actually spoke to Adam Ryan about coming on and do a few more of these. again, because he's a very popular chap and he speaks very well. And I asked him about his runners in this. He said, Dad's gone to Dubai, so I'm very busy this week. He just said to me, long season ahead. We're not sure what the ground will be like. Bielsa's been one of those, isn't he? I love him. I love him. I never get him right.
Me neither. Me neither.
I do like backing him.
I mean,
It's good
exactly
fun
the same
backing
boat
Bielsa.
as you.
Smaller field would probably suit, because didn't he go solo in the Air Gold Cup?
Yes, he did.
So you'd imagine rare, as Robbie nearly correctly said, normally big fields in the sprints. I don't think it suits him down to the ground. Where he's only got 7
on the wing here.
in this race.
Yeah, he
exactly.
is, yeah.
So he's going to get a bit of daylight, which is what he likes. The problem is, even that Air Gold Cup form, is he actually good enough? And the market's not particularly strong with him. Bearing in mind, a lot of the time last year, he was pretty strong in the market. I know he was running in Air Handicaps, but he was well-backed, heavy favourites. They expect him to win. They don't seem to expect him to win as regards to the market today.
Who's the big sprinters ahead? Of course, we've got some decent racing in Maidan. Of course, we've got the Dubai World Cup meeting, haven't we? And Suez's back out, and Creative Force are out over there. Who are the big sprinters ahead? It's hard to remember, isn't it?
It's so hard to remember.
Oh, I'm in jump mode still.
Yeah.
I'll very quickly get the.
Thank you very much, Parker.
doing
You
that
can
as well.
remind us. What about some of the others? Volatile Analyst, named after Wilders. Mondamedge, named after all the lunatics in the world. We couldn't even get rid of him during the winter, could we, Mondamedge?
He's
He actually
having no
ran really
break,
well.
no rest for the wicked.
Yeah, I think he's going to go to Newcastle. Yeah, no, they are. Anthony Britton is campaigning this bloke, isn't he? He's like, he's not having a bit of it, is he?
But he's one nice bit of prize money over the winter. You'd imagine big field, and like there's the proper big field scenario really suits him down to the ground. But against that, he's a talented individual. Market starting to settle a bit more now. 2.9 Diligent Harry, 3.15 for Garris.
None were more progressive last year than Mo Kelter. If I've pronounced that right,
Yeah,
I'll be amazed.
You're way off there, mate.
I probably was way off.
Mo Salita.
Is it Mo Salita?
Oh, I thought you were talking about another horse.
Okay, you
I
backed
didn't
it
even-
before then. It
even
started
think
off winning a seller. Do you remember at Leicester last year? Ended up in the Abbey,
Yeah,
didn't it?
awfully progressive.
Awfully progressive, yeah. So, but again, whether it's
shouldn't
going to
really
get his ground, I don't know. Like soft
shouldn't
ground.
really be good
But
enough.
we are looking at horses that we're going to see throughout the season. It's going to be fun. This last year in this race, I remember they stuck to the stands rail. Who was the horse that Graham Rodway putting up in last year? And it's the one that you just can't get right. These horses, can you? I'm going to remind myself.
Royal Commando.
It was. Oh my lord! Let's go down.
Summergand.
It was Summergand, who we have mentioned many, many a time on this show. So it's great to see these old friends back, Barry. Is it now absolutely certain? No, it's not, is it? They're flipping.
That's nearly a pick 'em now. Yeah, there's not much between them. It's nearly 2 each of two, 305 and 298, respectively. Garrison and Diligent Harry, 8-6 Bielsa. That's on the slide. 11 Mosalita, and it's 14 Bar. But you'd have to say, Garris, it looks like Diligent Harry's going to go off favourite, but Garris, just as they begin to load, a bit of momentum seems to be with him.
All right, okay, yes, indeed, they are listening then. The team are having a head-to-head here. Myself, Barry and James, like Diligent Harry. Looks a lovely picture going in. The anti-postman and Parky, they are going for Garris. Good luck wherever you are playing. It will be Aberdant next, you imagine, for the winner of this, wouldn't it? Yes, so that's the path.
It's a
isn't it?
well-trodden path. Only 3 weeks. I imagine Clive, with Diligent Harry, you're probably hoping he'll be stepping up into some shoes of being the main star, I suppose.
The greatest game of all racing, isn't it? We finish at Aintree, and then we've still got, of course, the finale at Sandown. But you've got the Craven, then you've got the Guineas. It just powers on.
It's a bit overwhelming this time of year, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of ITV racing over here in April. They're doing almost everything, aren't they? So there's plenty to get your teeth stuck into. Great to have you watching with us here this afternoon on Racing Post Live. We're about to get the Camage underway, and away we go. Stalls down the centre. That looks like where they're going to be. And who's this pinging out in front? Is this Mondamedge in front?
Just another bottle.
Just another bottle going on. Okay.
Colour change.
Oh, yeah, it is a colour change, isn't it? All right. And he is a tough front runner. He's doing plenty, though, isn't it? Mosalita is also a little bit keen, just in a share of the lead. Diligent Harry getting a nice run. Looking for Garris, Parky out the back,
he
pretty
didn't get
keen.
an awfully good start. It looked like he banged his head coming out the stalls.
Yeah, it's
but
very
he's-
awkward.
He spiked a bit in the market, isn't he? You
Yeah,
can see there on the exchange as well. Mr. Millman, where would you be playing now after a furlong or two?
I'd stick with Diligent Harry. 2.34, 5.6 Garris.
Yeah, it looks like Bielsa, Kevin Stott is trying to sort of track just another bottle, isn't he? Volatile Analyst, Mondamedge out the back. We're halfway. It looks
Gareth's
like
got
it's
no
going to be
chance
low
here.
then, isn't it? Diligent Harry, no, he's going up a little bit. Let's Let's see who has got the bonnet to pull this off then. Just another bottle still there. He is tough. Here comes Diligent Harry now. There they are on the stand side.
he didn't get up
Bielsa's
early.
coming. We know he can finish. Volatile Analyst. Come on, Diligent Harry. What do you got? Looks like Clive Cox is going to take out the Camage. And Volatile Analyst is coming one more time.
No, he's getting
My
napped.
Lord. Oh, Volatile Analyst has done him.
He's been
On the
napped.
line. Unbelievable scenes. Callum Rodriguez and Volatile Analyst. It looked sure that Diligent Harry was going to do it. He just ran up a bit short, Barry.
Yeah, it's officially a photo, obviously, but it's 101 Volatile Analyst, 1.15, so 11 to 2 on. Around that mark, you had Diligent Harry trade a low of 112 quid, sixes on for 175, over £1,000 at 1.17. A high of the winner, Volatile Analyst, in running on the Betfair Exchange, a high of 32. At a Betfair SP of 14. So 13 to 1. Hit a high of 30 in running for small money, 3 quid, 24, and all the way down to 101 after that.
Thank you, Barry. Yeah, okay. Two came clear then. Gareth's trying to stink it, didn't he?
He'd got trapped for... Yeah, I don't think he was ever going to be involved in the finish, but he did get trapped for him at the wrong time by Bielsa. He was just going to try and sneak up the rail, I think. He stayed on. I think he finished third, but yeah, not good.
Yeah,
Not good.
Start possibly cost him, I think, but yeah.
Charles Hill's, of course, one of the greats.
He'd have
of
finished
trainers.
closer, wouldn't he?
Is this why you don't like sprints? Because Volatile Analyst had a lot to find at the weights, didn't he?
Yeah, they are it's volatile races. I mean,
You wondered where you were going with that
yeah, I
one,
mean
didn't
that was a stinker, to be honest. That was just a tired pump. But I mean, yeah, he would have finished closer, but there's no way.
Yeah, if you're good enough, you take them gaps he
you?
wants.
I mean, Gareth is running on. You can see why they run him over 7, can't you? I mean, Mondamedge would be your benchmark for that now, wouldn't it? I suppose we've seen him during the winter. We know all about
Well,
him.
you've got fitness on the winner's side and on the measure's side, and I think that's probably been key. Because Harry, he's travelled a bit too well in the early stages, a little bit too keen for Adam Kirby. He's pushed the button and gone, and he's got all the ones around him beat. I didn't think Volatile Analyst would have been good enough, but I just think that fitness, he's run all winter, 8th just the other day at Wolverhampton, put him spot on for this, and I wouldn't be too disappointed if I was Clive Cox with the winner, the way he's travelled. I think he'll come on a lot, because look, first round of the season, it's not going to be his main aim of the year, and the fact that Gareth's, his first round of the season, Bea's first round of the season, he's beaten those quite convincingly. I think they'll be happy enough. It's just, at this time of year, sometimes you have horses, maybe not the handicappers so much, because they're a little bit exposed, but in his open races, they have got that little bit of fitness, and it certainly helped Volatile Analyst along.
If you were to rerun that race again in a few weeks, you would probably back Diligent Harry, reverse the form, I would think, wouldn't you? He just ran out of puff,
Just
I think.
that little bit of juice in the ground.
I am a little bit disappointed he's not seen it out, if I'm
Would have
personally
done
honest. But 9 of the last 10 winners had been coming to this fresh for their first run of the season. I don't know. I'm not sure. I thought he had it in the bag there, but well done. If you found the Volatile Analyst out there, congratulations to Callum Rodriguez and Keith Dalgleish. OK, it makes you think about the Scottish National even more, doesn't it? Which, of course, we will be covering next weekend for you. Strange that it's before the Grand National. Of course, the Grand National meeting coming thick and fast. Tell us who's going to win the National, if you like, today. We will have plenty of interaction. Let us know you're out there. Good to see you all watching out there on YouTube. I'm looking at the chat as well. What wins the Dubai World Cup? Any thoughts whatsoever on that?
Dirt racing's not really my thing. In fact, I would go as far as saying I hate it.
Strong.
Yeah, I don't know. The Nick Driver did a piece in the weekend of this week. He says that the favourite's a certainty. So
It's supposed to be the best horse in the world, isn't it? Life is good.
Yeah, by all accounts. I'm not having any dirt horse being the best horse in the world, to be fair. But
Who is going to be the best horse in the world? Is it going to be Baid this year?
could well be. He was very good last year, wasn't he?
Stepping up to, that was an exclusive on your show yesterday, wasn't it? Stepping him up to.
We tried
One
to get
more
an
two.
exclusive, but the
Technology let you
connection
down.
with Mr. Haggis in Dubai wasn't great, unfortunately. But William, I had a great couple of chats with him. He just loves the game, William Haggis. If he knows that you know racing, which was a bit of a punt, thinking I might have done, but I couldn't get him off the phone on Monday, and we were talking about Baid, and he's gutted he couldn't get a day back down to Australia, of course, because it's literally unraceable down there at the moment. It would have been perfect for him.
What's the Judd Monaghan International, the big plan for him this year?
You would have look.
Loves York, doesn't
He's
he?
going to keep him at a mile, but the pedigree, if you look at it, it does. He's quite excited about stepping up. All he did say was, "It won't be Lockinge, I don't think. It might be Queen Anne. It might.
It won't
well
be
Queen
Lockinge.
Anne." Yeah, I don't think it will be Lockinge.
Okay.
He's a brother to Hakum, isn't he?
Yeah,
He is,
One
yeah.
mile forward.
who runs, of course, in
So
Dubai
imagine how
today.
good he could be over another 2.
My mind is blown.
Scary.
We've gone from Cheltenham to all this.
I think this is a superstar.
Tricky time of year, isn't it? But Baid could be the...
It is really exciting when they step these horses up, though, isn't it? Like, it's all right dominating at a mile and stuff. I wanted them to put Palace Pier up in trip last year, but they never came round to it.
Yeah.
Obviously, Baid beat him, so he's even more exciting. We've not had a miler like this for some time, have we, really?
Well, it looked like it would be Palace Pier, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The mile division is either very weak or they're, an open.
It's
You
the
get
way he
4 to
goes
1 the
about
fields.
it, this horse, though, as well, Baid. I mean, he's like proper hard on the bridle, really good turn of foot. Palace Pier was he took a little bit of getting going. It's just not as exciting to watch. I
Yeah.
can't wait to see him. I'm still in jump mode, but you're
He'll
getting me
stay at
excited,
a mile,
Dave.
and I'm not saying he will step up, but that was the thinking that, and he didn't reveal any races to me, William, but he did say it's a long season, which makes you think Leopardstown, Monty Leopardstown. I don't know.
You're also struggling to think of any other top class milers.
That's the
around.
problem,
So, I mean,
isn't
he
it?
could dominate. He could go and win top mile races at 4 to 7.
We don't know about the 3-year-olds, of course.
4 to 7, I think he might be shorter than that.
Yeah, I mean, who's really...
Great to have this
The
chat,
trouble
isn't
is
it?
Who's going to take him on? But
Yeah.
if he does keep winning easily, you'd imagine they will step him out just to see how good he could be in the other divisions, to be honest.
That is Baid chat then, of course, and Life is Good 4:30. If you fancy a hot pot there, Ron Wood, who does our spotlights, is taking him on with Hot Rod Charlie. So, again, great stuff over there in Maidan. We're keeping an eye on it, but we must go to Kempton, Barry, or Fancy Man. Is he still really strong in the market for the 205?
Yeah, he's 298. He was 278 a couple of minutes ago when you started talking, and he's gone out to 298 now. So he's nearly out to 2 to 1 after being 7 to 4. 4.4 Felix, Father of Jazz 7, 12.5 King of the Set. I'm laying Fancy Man here. I know he's top rated. He's carrying his £3 penalty. It was a good run last day behind Alan Kerr and Lord North, albeit he had the benefit of a run as well. I think Felix is no back number here either. Father of the Jazz with the hood on for the first time, and back on the all-weather is a different proposition for me as well. And King of the Set with Shane Kelly has a chance. So going to set our own price here, please, James. We're going to look to lay him at around 288.
288.
The market's coming back towards that the 2.8s now after being 2.98. So we're looking at 2.88. We're looking to take 50 quid of the backer stakes. So that's going to go over into the other side for someone to come in and bet it with us. He's into 2.84 now, so we should be matched.
Oh, it's already matched. Yeah, 2.86, Barry.
Excellent. Yeah, so that's best price execution. We put in 2.88. The market was moving in our favour, and 2.88 was gone. It was into 2.86, and best price execution allows for automatically you'll get done at the best price. Although we asked to be matched at 2.88, it was trading at 2.86, and we got matched at that at the time.
Okay, all right then, Fancy Man. And this is, of course, the money back offer, isn't it, on this race? I would be backing Felix with that in mind. He's a bit of a labour of love for me, Felix. He's one of these projects where I just keep thinking I'm going to get him right. He's not my nap of the day, but I think he's going to be very hard to keep out of the frame here. And I just don't want to be going in on Fancy Man at that short a price. I know he's got the form. It's Lord North and it's the Alan Kerr form, of course, both represented in the Shima.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, different races. Lord North,
Turf,
in,
of course.
Mile 1 and
Get it right,
Mile
Dave.
Half Alan Kerr.
Yeah, so I like Felix, but he's in stall 8 under Danny Muscat, and the harder they go, the better he will be. I want a pace up front. You are fancying the man.
I do. I really like Fancy Man here. I think he's got the best form in the book. Not sure about Felix. I know that form is quite. He's 5th in the Group 1 last time. And
It was a bit of an eye catcher in that, but he does catch the eye. He just needs them to go hard.
I mean, he comes out best at the weight, so I think Fancy Man's got to give a £3 penalty.
Just a pound in it, isn't there, between them?
Yeah, I was close to napping Fancy Man today. I haven't, but I do really fancy him. I will be having a decent bet on him. I just think that was a really good run last time. I think he's.
He was well fancied for that, wasn't he?
He was well fancied, yeah. I mean, considering how it was a really good Winter Derby, wasn't it? I mean, you don't normally get the likes of Lord North and even Alan Kerr, and I think he was second favourite in that race behind Lord North. So, yeah, I can't see really his trouble here.
I mean,
I
He's a
think
good-looking
I
horse.
disagree.
this chap.
it's nearly 2 to 1.
You're surprised by
I
that?
disagree.
Yeah.
You disagree, Mr.
Yeah, they
Robbins?
should be way closer in the market together. I mean, Fancy Man is priced up on that run behind Lord North and Alan Kerr, but they're using that as a prep for the Dubai race.
You could look at it that way, I
Like,
suppose.
This horse is fighting fit. I mean, Felix, he's got a bit of place Group 1 form there in the book. I mean, he's getting weight from Fancy Man as well. I just think the prices are wrong. And Yeah, I'm against Parky, but good luck to him.
I mean, what are you putting up? Have you put something up?
Felix, yeah,
Felix,
absolutely,
you're
yeah.
with me on Felix.
Yeah, that's 7-2 odd on the exchange. That's a big price.
He's 4.8.
You don't see a lot of ones in Felix's form these days, do you?
And he isn't supposed to be coming here. I think they'll be gutted that he wasn't invited for the Dubai Turf this time around. For me, he's not quite as good as what he was last year. He was always sold quite cheaply for a horse of his ability, so I imagine there's some issues as to why he is never worth very much money. So I'm with Mr. Tom Park. I think Fancy Man's got a cracking chance. And I think the more galloping track at Kempton, I know he's 2 from 3 at Lingfield. I think he's too big for the track, really. So I think on a more conventional track like Kempton, it's not easy to ride. Tour rides him for the first time, big ride for Tour. I just think he's, I would agree with what the market's doing, because he's now 2.6, having been 2.86 when Barry laid him. So the market's come strong for Fancy Man, and I'm firmly in the Fancy Man camp.
A lot of short price favourites have won this Global Giant last year. You might remember for John Gosling. He is a good looking horse, Fancy Man. I went after this show. I hope Solid Stone's coming back this year for St Michael's Day. He's one of my favourites. I love Solid Stone.
What makes a good looking horse?
Fancy Man would be a very good example for you, Robbie.
What do you look out for?
What do you mean?
A good looking horse.
Very
name.
powerful. He's got a great name.
Oh,
and he's
Mr.
quite
Park,
like
you've just let yourself down now.
Go on.
Nice name. I can't be having
We should, of course, be asking James what makes a
Shocking.
nice horse. Go on then, you tell us.
Well, he's got the size and scope to go on. He looks exceptionally well in his coat, strong, muscled. Conformation is the big thing, is what you can't really see on a TV, but how likely they are to get injured. So if you run a bit crooked, you're more likely to pick up injuries, and that's a lot when you see prices of horses at the sales. You think, oh, why did that only make £15,000 when it's got a pedigree to be a £100,000 horse? There's normally a pretty severe problem.
Dodgy conformation.
Yeah, a trainer like Mark Johnson doesn't care so much about that. He'll buy a lot, and he'd rather have a Mini with 3 wheels. So a Ferrari with 3 wheels rather than a Mini with 4 wheels. So there's different perspectives to look at it. But Fancy Man, he's a nice looking horse. Probably Dubai wasn't the most fashionable of his sires, and that's why he himself was only 30 grand. But I just think he's progressed nicely, and like I say, that big frame of a horse, Lingfield's not his track. It's just been where the races have been. I think at Kempton you'll see a much better performance, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he gets on. He's fitting well as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Day for the owner, Dave, isn't he? He's got Chinded as well up in Doncaster at Michael Pascal.
Coming up at 3 o'clock in the Doncaster Mile. Yeah, one of the hot pots of the day. What price is he currently on the exchange, Barry?
Last time I looked, he's about 11-8 on, 6-4 on. I think the double was working out around 7-2.
Okay, and of course, Annan on the double, having lit up the start of the show with the Brocklesby winner. You'll be able to get your quotes of that on the members club, and if you check on the analysis box, that's where you tend to see right at the bottom of the race what Hannon will be telling you about that, or maybe Rosser Ryan. It was Rosser on board on the scene, wasn't it? Yeah. Who gets the ride now on Amethyst, of course, in the Lincoln. That was a curveball, wasn't it? Poor old Adam Farah.
Yes, unlucky. And I think, going back to the Lincoln, when Harry Davis got booked for Modern News, I think when Harry just felt, look, I've got a really unexposed one, but you've got a good 7-mile claim on that one. I need my good claimer on it. So I think for me, it's quite a big negative that they're not able to claim off him when you're taking on Harry Davis, who's really impressed in the saddle.
I bet their heads were scratching a little bit as well when they saw the draw come out, 1 and 2, of course. At least he's got Irish Admiral in 1.
And Johan in stall 3. Sylvester will just go from the front and give him a little bit of pace to chase.
We've got the Spring Mile coming up next. Yes, it is the Spring Mile. I kept saying that on the feature shows we were doing yesterday, despite the fact there's only 8 runners. It's usually the first cavalry charge. I really like one on that one, but we'll get to that afterwards. They are down at the start. There are some interesting horses here. Zarakan's likely pace angle, isn't he? Might go on with it. Luke
Headgear
Morris
on as well, I think.
Yeah.
Might see him a little bit more, last a bit longer.
I think he's got to that point now where he needs to find a bit, doesn't he? So Headgear probably is what that's about. King of the South is a horse I like, talking about Headgear. He seems to be quite consistent, doesn't he? He's been very progressive. I never thought he was going to make a 103 horse, let's put it that way.
He's a 103 on your weather. And obviously now we're getting a few more better turf horses coming to play, and I think he's probably hit his limits. And Fancy Man, you'd imagine company holds him on the form they've shown this campaign.
Keith Dalglish going for a big double. Do you remember when Chichester won at Ayr? How did that win like that? I mean, that's next to Michael Stout horse, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Absolutely hosed up.
Yeah.
Sort of paying for that probably a bit, Parker.
£12.
£12, was that what he got? You've got to be thinking that they're probably looking towards a Hunt Cup or something with him, are they?
You would think so. Is he good enough?
I wouldn't be very surprised if he took this out, but of course, we were about volatile analysts. Well, I mean, Father of Jazz, we haven't mentioned him, buzzy horse, but likes the all-weather.
Hood on. If there is a nice pace to chase, if Zarakan does go quite hard on the Luke Morris, that's got to be a to his advantage because he looked very good when it all worked well, but he did lose the plot quite easily, and I can't see him on our screen. Yeah, he's just whizzing around the back, not looking particularly relaxed.
Soto Sizzler is the other one to mention for David Menouzier and Paul Mulrennan. I give a little heads up that Paul Mulrennan is quite keen to come on this panel, would you believe it?
Is he really?
Yeah, madman, but
Do you reckon he's got what it takes?
he's definitely got what it takes. He's a great talker.
He is
Done a
great jockey as well.
done a
Really
couple
like
of
Paul
box talks
Mulrennan.
with him. He's a great talker. Okay, let's see who talks the best in this 205 at Kempton. Good luck wherever you're playing. The thing to say is the headgear hasn't really woken up Al Zarakan. Absolutely walked out, hasn't
He's
he?
not showing much enthusiasm.
There goes the pace angle then. Okay, who is going to take it up? Surprise, surprise. Joe Fanning, Charlie and Mark Johnson. Keep getting made around that. They're always up there, aren't they? Al Zarakan now completely lit up. Soto Sizzler, under Paul. Mulrennan right out the back, maybe a little bit too far at the back. And the other thing to say is Fancy Man in
I'm
his share of the
surprised
lead as
Tor's
well.
just poked up there and got to the front. I'd have been quite happy to take a lead, but
I'm not
now
happy
he-
with
now
Felix.
He
can't
wasn't
control
giving the
it.
rail away, was he?
No,
Scoring
good
quite a
shout,
bit.
Barry.
Giving that rail
Scoring
to anyone.
plenty of ground there.
Yeah, Tor Hammer Hansen, the best named jockey out there, isn't he? A little bit surprised he's leading.
A little bit, but as you said, I think.
Control the race, no
Yeah,
bother.
I think he's the best horse in the race. So make it easy for yourself.
This is definitely the best all-weather track, isn't it, Kempton?
It's
Oh,
easiest
without a
to
doubt.
ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd know
Why
more about the riding.
why
But
do
it
you
looks the
think
easiest
so?
to bet on.
Because you wait to the intersection, you've got plenty of
Puts away
time.
Yeah,
perfect.
Don't rush
that
it.
lovely long home straight.
Yeah.
Lingfield, you've got to make decisions before you want
Stacking
to.
them here, isn't he?
He really is. Yeah, what does the clock say? Of course, it's not jumps, but it is 37. That's a nice change for us, Barry, isn't it? And they are on the
Not
fast
too
side.
fast.
They are.
He's not handling that corner too well.
No, he's not at all. Again, we thought it's his first time around here. Chichester's got a lovely run on the inside. I'm not happy with.
Felix is in deep
Felix
trouble.
is
here.
he's in
5.5
deep
fancy
trouble.
man.
Deep trouble.
Oh no! Look at Father of Jazz catching
Absolutely
up.
backpedaling behind
Felix
horses
is
that
just
are
running
rated
out.
much
Chichester
lower.
favoured on the exchange.
Is he
2-1.
now? Oh my goodness! Keith Dalglish buying a big Saturday TV double. All right, and we're into this long sweeping
Fancy
home
Man's in
straight.
deep trouble as well.
Fancy Man.
He'll keep plugging.
Oh, I don't know, Parky, I'm not so sure. Father of Jazz on the outside ripping up. Al Zarakan, this would be some performance if he
Whoa.
could pull it off. The blinkers have definitely worked in the second half of the race.
In
Look
fairness.
at Fancy Man is keeping in there, plugging away, but at the moment it's Living Legend. He's up there under Joe Fanning. Chichester diving, Al Zarakan diving, but Living Legend. Oh, that's very close indeed, isn't it?
Al Zarakan ran an incredible race in the end, didn't he?
Fell out the boxes, but the blinkers made the difference. Barry, that is on the knob, but the cameraman likes Living Legend. I suppose you do in the photo as well.
Yeah, Living Legend. Last traded price was 4s on. The last traded price for Al Zarakan was 3s on. So make of that what you can.
Wow.
Market just suspended at the moment. Yeah, the market's still suspended. They haven't even opened it for a photo finish just yet. But the cameraman, like you say, likes the look of Living Legend.
It looks on the
Betfair-
camera like that,
He's
but it's
got
one
it.
of them where the momentum kind of plays a big part. It looks like he's got it though.
Calling
It's a
photos.
bullish cameraman as well. Only.
Calling photos
Betfair
is
SB
something.
is 16.7.
Captain's cost
Living
a few
Legend of
jobs as well.
Zarakan.
I think he's got it, hasn't he?
Al
I'd rather a
Zarakan traded at a
commentator
high of
bullish
18.
and mate.
Zarakan
Wow,
favourite,
18. Yeah, but that's not a surprise.
No,
is it? He
sorry, a
fell out.
Betfair of 18. He traded at a high of, there was only a quid done at 80, 12 quid at 55, those sort of prices after you saying you could put another zero on the back.
Hey. That's the first swipe coming my way from Dublin today. I didn't say that today, but I did say it'd be
Fancy Man
remarkable.
traded at 2.36. That must have been pre-race. It wasn't in running at all. That was the shortest Fancy Man traded. He did stick it out well on the rail. He wasn't giving the rail to anyone for Hammer, but he'd probably come on for that. Or well, you'd think he's already had the benefit of a couple of runs ahead of some of these. But Potter the Jazz got an interesting ride as well, sweeping down the outside. He's I wonder will they try him on turf again?
Yeah, probably. And it's Rog, isn't it? He's one of the best in the game for me. And he's getting a big season for Roger Varon coming up as well, isn't it? Well, there we are then. Charlie and Mark Johnson take out the Magnolia. Very well named listed race, that, isn't it? Flowery. Like that name?
Magnolia. Flower, isn't it?
Yeah. Good to know you're listening. Felix ran an absolute stinker. I need to pick myself up after that. In fact, it's been a slow start. I'm hoping to finish a bit stronger. How are we all doing out there? Let us know. Let's get some social interaction on the show. We've got around about 14 minutes until the Spring Mile, which gives us an opportunity. We've got to move on now, which gives us an opportunity to talk about this situation. Let's get We've got Jack Reeve doing the social for us today. No doubt he'll be keen to click this up, I would imagine. So we'll have a little think about this. Talking of which, Jack has messaged me. James Wellham. The Sheephaven is an excellent shout, Parky.
It is a brilliant. It's probably
This
the
is the
best
pub.
shot you'll get off me all day. So
All right, I like that. The thing I miss most about no longer working in Camden is the Sheephaven, says James Wellham. Racing, Guinness, darts, and some cracking regulars too.
exactly, yeah.
You would be one of them, would you?
I would have been. I mean, I've moved out of London
you
now,
have,
but
yeah.
if I do come into London, I came as I said, I came down last week just to watch it in Cheltenham and play darts on a Wednesday night sometimes. There, that's
You
how
strike me as a darts man.
Yeah, got the figure for it now.
Listen, maybe I should start.
Has this Sheephaven got an outdoor area?
It does, I think. Well, I've never ever been out there.
It's quite key in
Not
the
a
summer.
smoke or anything like that. So.
Nah,
You wouldn't be an indoor-
I quite like being in
an indoor
smoking
drinker.
areas, but just
One thing about the
Patches,
Sheephaven, it is red hot inside. So I don't know what he does with the heating. He might have to rethink with the energy costs going up.
A good mention there then for the best racing pub in London, says Parky. Let us know where you like watching your racing in London out there. Are there any better pubs out there? Why not? Let's have that chat. OK, so Jack, get ready for this. 2:25, Spring Mile, 8 runners we've got in here. Maximum field, 22 possibilities. That's the safety, isn't it? I think that's what we've got in the Lincoln. What is going on here? Parky?
I have no idea. I don't get the... Next thing we'll have people come and saying to the paper, oh, well, what the prize money's rubbish and all this. I mean, I'm not saying that the prize money's great. I mean, it's, 25 grand? It's not great, but it's 8 runners. It's a good pot for an 8-runner field. Just get your horses entered.
It's a bit bizarre, isn't it, James?
Well, the problem is, so it's an early entry race. January, you enter for the Lincoln. Spring Mile is a consolation. Now, normally in recent years, if this race is open on a Monday and you saw a horse rated 75 could get in, lots more would have been entered. It's not, people don't want that 45 grand. It's the fact that our 90 and 105 handicappers are just disappearing.
Well, they're going abroad, you mean?
They're going Hong Kong, Australia, Saudi, Bahrain. There's been a new Bahrain series this winter. You've got all-weather racing coming up on Good Friday. That's 3 weeks away, so I think you could have done both. I'm not sure that's really taken a few out of it. But the issue is the prize money as a whole. If you win your novice race, quite impressively, you're going to get 150, 200 grand offer. If you keep that horse and you do well, you're going to do very well to win 50 grand. So it's a big risk to keep hold of that horse. A lot of the owners, especially the smaller owners that obviously they're not poor, but
Yeah, the carrot is
it
there,
will then
isn't it?
fund their future racing. So they're all disappearing, and what's happening is that the Lincoln itself, a lot of horses like Rogue Bear and stuff, they didn't think they'd get into the main race. They would have been Spring Mile candidates, and like we wouldn't have entered any for the Lincoln because we've got exposed 75 milers. But now you wish you had done because it's a shocking race of 45k. But that was last year. The last 20 years, I think 16's been the smallest in the race. So as from a train's point of view, you weren't expecting this race to cut up so badly, but I think it's a huge warning for British racing that the Lincoln is one option at the moment. Come the summer, you've got 3 options a week you can choose, and what's going to happen then when you're going to get lots of 4 or 5 runner handicaps?
We saw it in Newmarket, didn't we, Robbie, last year? Do you remember? There was, I mean, and if you bear in mind that that's a training centre, it's supposed to be the HQ of the flat racing, isn't it? We were seeing more of the Newmarket horses going up to Newcastle one day, 4 3-runner fields on the July course. Should we be worried?
we should be worried, yeah, but I don't see how we can be surprised from... I mean, a lot of top, like, famous owners have recently sadly died or are kind of winding down this stretch. Cheveley Park winding down a bit. Obviously, Gigginstown and the jumps, but we can't be surprised. There's not as much incentive to own a horse in Britain as there is in France, for example. We've seen Kerry Lee setting up a satellite yard.
Amy Murphy.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's what I always get muddled up with those two. Don't know why, but yeah, I mean, you can see why they're doing it because at the end of the day, it's about winning some money.
Barry, what do you make of this? 8 runners, Spring Mile. Time to worry?
I don't know whether it's time to worry. It's so early in the season, but I suppose when you look at it, it's a consolation, isn't it, for the main event, and it's always had plenty of runners. So that in itself, it's a bigger problem at play here. And I read some interesting comments from James on Twitter during the week, and I think it's pretty much bang on what he said there, and he's repeated on the show just now. It's kind of, there's a wider issue with over racing in the UK, and we see it in national hunt racing as well. And then the obviously the sales of a lot of decent horses to to other jurisdictions where the prize money is significantly better, and they can afford to pay top dollar for them because they know when they bring those horses to those jurisdictions, they're going to earn it back more than likely with decent prize money, the cost of the purchase price of the horse, and have some fun along the way as well. So it's in danger of becoming a bit of a nursery for the rest of the world, UK racing, unless it's addressed.
Yeah, it's a weird thought, isn't it? And maybe we should do away with these consolation races.
What they had done in Cambridgeshire. So we used to aim horses specifically for the silver Cambridgeshire because you knew 35 getting the main race, you're probably going to get 20, 25, and it's a lot easier race. I think it was 50k.
Yeah, they don't have to run this race, James, did they?
No, they don't.
Is there not a stipulation in the race conditions if there was?
There has to be 10 runners usually, at least 10. They're right.
Yeah, so they were in their rights
quite a
not to
strange
run
rule,
this
though.
race.
Yeah. But again, this TV pressure, I suppose.
It's kind of, it's there already. Luckily, the 1 year when they kept silver Cambridgeshire, I think there was 6 turned up, and that was the last year they had it. They just canned it, and it might well be next year there is no spring mile. They just keep the main race because ultimately it's not needed.
How many were last year?
20.
20.
So
But
is
that's
it a
why.
one-off, or is, I mean,
It's early in the season.
it's
You've got to
worrying
hope
though that it's happening
early.
so fast. If what James is saying is correct, certainly with Hong Kong, I mean, we can all see what's happening. It's worrying 1 year, 12 runners difference. What's it going to be next year? I mean, as you say, it's all right cutting the races, but there's a bigger problem here. I don't know how you go about, unless you're injecting more prize money in to attract owners to keep the horses here. It's
Well, they've got the money down under to come and nick our 90 horses, haven't they? And in Hong Kong as well. I say nick, but they obviously are offered up at the sales. What James said about smaller owners is a great carrot, isn't it? You know, Mo Salita would have been a good one, wasn't it, to sell probably? The owners love the, you know, I'm sure they would offer,
Well, they kind of
carrots.
did to Qatar, who those sheikhs, they don't have to worry about prize money because to them it's irrelevant. But for your owner that's actually racing to try and finance his own racing and make a profit, they have to keep an eye on it. And like I say, the smaller owners, if we get one now and it wins first time out, if it only gets a big offer, we got to say, look, realistically, you should sell, even though we don't want to sell, we want to keep them in the yard. You'll never ever get that money back again. So it's a tough one, and there's lots of outside factors, but I do think BHA could be trying harder to address why this is happening. At the moment, it's a bit of a head in the sand approach, and we just kick on. Fixture list stays the same, race programming stays the same. There's loads of things that they can do, like more in the summer. There shouldn't be 3 options a week for a 90 horse.
You got up this morning hoping I was going to ask you about this, didn't you?
Not
This
particularly.
is what gets you out of bed. You love this sort of chat.
Racing politics is just a mess, and it's going one way. But hopefully, it will change because I think they're going to have to address it at some point, but it might be too late.
All right, okay. 20 runners last year, and
Or 22 were declared, so there's 2 non-runners. So horses would have got balanced out at the Spring Mile last year. This year, anyone got in. 1 non-runner, so we're down to 8. We're just about keeping the 3 each-way places.
thank goodness there were 9 declared, absolutely, because Musterid is a non-runner. I won't tell you what my nap is, but it is in this race, and he ran in it last year. Barry, what do you like in the Spring Mile?
Yeah, I like Empire State of Mind. He's currently trading at 4.5, 6.8 Mustawa, 6.8 the same, a boy named Ivy, generally 8.2, and it's 10 bar. Empire State of Mind for me, please, James. 50 quid win. And we'll set our own price here. We're going to want to look at lay at a 4 point or back at a 4.5.
4.5.
Obviously, I like Mujtaba in the Lincoln, and his form ties in with Mujtaba. He's doing the quarter length second to him when last seen in October. He got £8 off him that day. He's won handicaps in Thirsk on good ground and Air on good to firm, but he handles a bit of a give as he showed that day in Redcar. And I still think he's on a very workable mark at 83. So looking to back 50 quid on Empire State of Mind at 4.5, which is bang on 7-2.
4.6 is what you've been matched at, Barry.
Again, best price execution. Excellent.
He likes you. You're one of his favourites.
Well, I've got the hang of it again. It's this Mac. I'm not used to.
It was a rusty
not-
start.
yeah,
You didn't
not
show
u-
early speed with the
Not
exchange,
used to
did you?
the old Mac, but no, we're all right now. We're getting back into the swing of it.
Great to have Jones back, Barry, isn't it? Absolutely. All right, good stuff. And you can talk about politics. If ever there's a stewards' inquiry, he's all over it. I think we did the Commonwealth Cup together last year, didn't we?
We did. I did say.
And he honestly should his eyes lit up. Of course, of
Well,
course.
that law
Dragon symbol
degree
and-
came in handy.
Dragon symbol
Campanelle.
and Campanelle. There you go. Again, it's hard to get your mind back there, isn't it? But that's where we are. Just a quick one, guys. Racing is delayed at Kelso because Conor McCann, it
was
didn't
a
look good,
horrible
did it?
fall.
And
God.
we've been told it is a serious one. We're being told, but he is conscious, which is obviously good. but racing is delayed for now. So we're keeping an eye on that. The jockeys are mounting, I think, actually, for the 210. So the delayed 210. So we'll see what happens there, whether we pick up our next race or not at Kelso. Just to let you know about that, if you're waiting for us to cover that and give you a word on it. So let's hope that poor Conor McCann is okay, and we'll let you know, of course. All right, let's get some more social interaction up there. I think a couple of regulars are about to come on the screen. Andy's saying, welcome back, Andy. There's a boy named Ivy, hopefully wins, who we can see on the screen at the moment. Lovely grey for Andy. And what about who we've got coming up next? Mally Draycott. General Lee for me, folks. Hey, Mally. Good to have you back, mate. All right. General Lee, there's no way that Paul and Oliver Cole thought this was going to be top weight in the Spring Mile. And he, of course, at 85. I think that's probably why he's on the drift.
94 last year was top weight.
Very progressive, wasn't he? And he'll like the drying ground, that's for sure. I just thought he was vulnerable, personally. A boy named Ivy looks solid in the market. Any love for that one?
Not for me.
Silence.
Not for me, no. But I could see it. This is not. It's a no bet race for me. This, but I actually like Empire State of Mind. If it's
you're with Barry
selections, yeah, for the reasons Barry said, really.
Remarkably consistent.
I like John Quinn.
Everyone likes the John Quinn operation.
He's in.
And these colours.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's 2 from 8 last 2 weeks, but I think 3 or 4 they've been close seconds. So we could be coming here saying he's like 5 or 6 from 8, and then it would be a different proposition altogether. But they're in good nick either way.
The Hitman Hart.
He's good. He gets them fit as well for these first time out. John Quinn.
He's got top weight in the Lincoln, isn't he? Safe voyage, of course. Yeah. All right. So he's going for the Spring Mile and Lincoln double. Then Empire State of Mind, who looks good. Here's my nap in screen. Mostawa. Sylvester de Souza on £5 lower than when nutted in this race last year. He's a nice, honest horse. He's had a spin on the all-weather. You've got to be careful what you say about that, but it was a prep for this. There's no doubting that, and he has been backed. And SDS, of course, no Shadwell association for Sylvester.
Oh,
He's
King Power.
Going all out, isn't he? King Power, sorry, not Shadwell. That was a long time ago, wasn't it? King Power, of course it was. Yeah, get your head right, Dave. I like Mostawa. Anyone strong on this race like me?
I'm Team Barry. Empire State of Mind.
3 for Empire
Make
State
that
of
4
Mind.
because I am as
What?
well. You know Empire State of Mind was named after? You know what the horse was named
Song.
after?
Jay-Z
It's
song.
Jay-Z's song, isn't it?
Yeah,
With Barry
Jay-Z
straight
and
in
Alicia
there.
Keys.
We've got a fan.
I was lost. No.
You wouldn't
know
have a clue.
that.
If you don't know what Uber is, you're not going to know what who Jay-Z is, are you?
No.
Where have we found him?
No
Devon.
idea. Devon, yeah, exactly.
You're a Jay-Z fan, of course you are.
Don't know. I quite like the Blueprint. It's one of his earlier works, but
Just had to say
I've
yes or
moved
no there,
away
really.
from hip hop as the years have gone on.
All right, so Empire State of Mind, hopefully on song for 4 of the panellists. I feel like I'm being sort of like a bit of an assault. You like that, didn't you? 'Cause, yeah.
Yeah, I knew you had something up your sleeve, mate.
I've got plenty up my sleeve. Got no real sleeves on, but trust me, I've got a few lines for you later on with Robbie. Who's enjoying Robbie and Parky's debut today? And great to have James back as well. Let us know. Feedback for the guys. Much appreciated. As is the winner of this, please. I really like Mostawa here, so let's hope he can do it.
Market agrees. 5.8 Mostawa, 5.7. 5 joint favourites on the exchanges now.
There
Two
we
of them.
go. Paul Keeley likes Star Shield for this. He's got great Doncaster form for David O'Mara. He's got Darkness in the Lincoln.
Big punt.
Yeah,
Big
Parky's
punt.
all
Probably
over
now.
this. All right. Okay, isn't it weird? I don't want to keep going on about it because I know it's negative, but it's so odd to see just the 8 trying to go into the stalls for this race. It's
14s on exchanges, Darkness.
just madness, isn't it? There's a race on the Greenham weekend, isn't there, that they
Spring
go
Cup.
to after the Spring Cup, of course.
So,
Thank you,
yeah.
James. Someone's had their nose in the programme, but this morning it had to be keep it brief, Millman. All right, great stuff. Invincibly goes for Carl Burke, May Night as well for the Baldings. I haven't mentioned them much today so far. And Ross Orion on a double, Arthur's Realm, who has been back for Ed Dunlop. Good luck. We are away for the mini Spring Mile. And away we go. Boy named Ivy out the back, General Lee out the back as well. Looks like it's going to be Invincibly. And Mostawa I was hoping to see up there. And again, we're going to get 0 help with the draw, of course, for the biggie at 3.35 because the 8 runners ploughing down the middle. I wonder if that's what we see in the
Well, you
Lincoln.
should be happy with Mostawa, though. He's been
Mostawa's getting a nice
easy lead.
You just don't want to see him head bobbing at the moment. So Arthur's Realm is a little bit keen just in behind. Empire State of Mind is probably where you want to see him. A boy named Ivy for Andy Sim out there as well. Right out the back. May Night, the big outsider with Star Shield as well. He's got them all to pass. Barry, halfway. Any market movers?
Empire State of Mind still your favourite at 5.46. Mostawa 6.8. A boy named Ivy 7. General Lee.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Barry. All right. So, again, you wouldn't really discount anything at the moment, guys, would you?
Oh, no.
No. Wilders? Not happy?
I'm
Don't
not-
look
I'm not
happy. He's
that
rowing
happy.
a bit.
Could
I'm
be
not
done.
that happy.
The Hitman is rowing as they start to speed it up. Invincibly leading at the moment. Then Mustawa shaking the reins. Not sure. I wanted to see that. He is game at the moment.
There's Realm, your favourite at evens.
Invincibly's got there. Okay, what about General Leader? Got a pass. He's
Ross
got
Ryan
Arthur's Realm.
travelling like an
Barry says.
absolute dream.
Ross's Ryan coming between them. This is like the
Empire's
2-year-old,
State of
isn't
Mind
it?
isn't out of this
Mustawa,
now.
just not quite as good as he was last year on this evidence. They've got right away from him.
on,
And
son.
it is Invincibly at the moment for Clifford Lee and Carl Burke. But Arthur's Realm, how low can you go? It looks like a matter of time, doesn't it? Ross Ryan loving the town more today. They are closing in behind, but it's going to be too
gonna
little,
finish second,
too
isn't
late
it?
for a boy named Ivy. Invincibly might just get gubbed for the second place by both. The closing Empire State of Mind is definitely going to come on for that run, and Ivy, boy named Ivy, back in third as well. Pretty straightforward that, Barry. You called it some way out.
Yeah, he went short from a long way out there, to be perfectly honest with you. About 2 furlongs out, he was trading at 6-4 and then into even money. The Betfair SP of 6.9. No real massive in-running news there. As you can imagine, Mustawa only traded at 5.2. Boy named Ivy didn't trade any shorter than 5, and that was pre-race. And Empire State of Mind, a little bit disappointing. Stayed on one pace, really.
Hit a flat spot, didn't he? See why he wears those blinkers a bit. It's lively old ground, that, isn't it?
Probably didn't go hard enough early. They weren't going that quick, and he was just travelling a bit too well. And then suddenly, when push came to shove, he got outpaced, and he was sent on too late. But a winner, Ross Ryan, probably a big year for Rosser.
Yes.
He had a cracking season last year. He's looking for that first Group 1.
Is he
Go
still
Bears,
ammo,
go.
right? He is
He's
ammo,
still
isn't
there.
he? Yeah.
Like I say, he's hanging on in. He does better.
Unlike some trainers,
does better than
he
trainers.
is still there.
But yeah, I imagine every time one gets beat, it's a slightly difficult debrief. But yeah, Ross is a very confident lad, and he's given that one a great ride, really. He's always been in the right place and pushed the button exactly at the right time.
That's only a second win from 12 runs for Arthur's Realm, so there was money for it beforehand. Rosser Ryan loving the straight mile. Rosser, of course, got Amethyst, isn't he? He's coming for Amethyst.
He is, yeah.
That's the biggie in the Lincoln in around about an hour's time. And yet, season-defining time for Rosser Ryan?
I don't know if it would go that far, but he's certainly going about the right way today, isn't he?
Well, it's obviously a big opportunity, isn't there, with
Of course
Oshin
there
on the
is, yeah.
sidelines, you know?
If he's to go and win the Lincoln as well, I mean,
I like Amethyst. I'm
Well, he
might as
was the
get it out of
third
way.
string, well, second string, and because Kieran's been bumped up to the
Yeah.
favourite. But
I like him. He ticks a lot of boxes for me. Do you think they're going to come down the middle? Do you think they'll ignore either rail, or do you think we're going to split?
I thought they would. I thought Marie's Diamond would be the
Pace
angle,
All right.
yeah. But as we've said, the unexposed ones seem to be drawn a bit lower. So whether something, I don't know if Haggis is going to force the
Irish Admiral, he might just
Yeah.
sacrifice
Yeah,
him as a
I spoke to
pacemaker.
Stevie Dono this week, who rides him, and he thinks he's going well. They think they didn't quite get him right, Irish Admiral. They burnt fingers was what Stevie said. A few people had it in the yard on him last year because they were expecting him to, I think they were expecting him to be the travel companion for a Dable, being well, weren't they? You've got to be a good horse, obviously, to go and do that down there. It never quite worked out. Do you remember that day at Epsom where it just, he never really recovered that? He went and won at Redcar. He liked the drying ground, but Stevie did think he might be setting it up potentially.
Yeah, well, he's got the 3 in it, and he's also running one of them in the Doncaster Mile, so which he could have put in a Lincoln. So
Yeah.
If there's no obvious pace down there as well, he's got to do something, I think, to at least try and carry them into it.
'cause
I think there'll be plenty of pace on. But,
Ground might be an issue for Mustafa, mightn't it? I think William thinks he wants plenty of dig. Anyway, that is Lincoln, the biggie. First leg of the spring double then, in around about an hour's time. At the moment, well, we've got to go back to Kempton. We've got a really interesting race here. The Queen's Prize has been around for a long time, this staying handicap. And Godolphin have got one here, Barry Orr.
Yeah, they have. And he could take a bit of beating in at Bandinelli. He's 2.44 at the moment, Dave. Imperium 6.6, same price for Mollywood. Auriferous is 8.2 and it's 19 bar. I'm going to take a chance on Auriferous. Win and place, please, here, James. And I'm happy to be a price taker at 8.2, 25 quid on the win on the Betfair Exchange. And then in the place market, standard 3 places here. There is one non-runner as well, worth noting, Finston's Farm. But standard 3 places there, we're going to have 25 quid on him as well. I think he's currently trading at around 2.3. Yeah, we might just put in to back him at around 2.34, 2.36, around that. Because I think as we get nearer the post time, those markets will become a lot more liquid.
Yes, I'll put you in for 2.34, currently unmatched. 2.32 is the match point.
Yeah.
I just thought 1 over a mile and a half, and it was 5-2. I'm well exposed. Run 9 times last year, and took him his time to win in Suddle. It has to be said, at 5-2 on, but he should come on for that run. I think he'll improve for the step up to 2 miles as well.
Yeah, interesting rival. That is absolutely for sure. I like these colours. What was the Melrose winner that they had 2 years ago? Oh, auriferous, the Baldings and these colours.
Oh, I know the one you mean.
And what was Dashing
yeah,
Willoughby
it
colours?
was,
Aren't they? What was it?
Cole something.
I thought you were going to nail that out of the park. That's pretty much just summed you up there.
Who was it?
Coltrane.
Coltrane. James
I had
was
that
waiting.
was the internet gave me the answer for that one. That wasn't in the.
We have kept you specifically for the flat season.
Where
you can
is
see
that
why. Okay, so
Where
it's
is that
Coltrane.
horse, Coltrane?
He has been running.
He was on the
I
weather
think-
in the winter.
He sort of left it
against
behind a bit, didn't he,
Bandinelli.
in the Melrose? It was
Yeah.
tough ground that day. Anyway, that's the staying handicap during E-Ball week. So auriferous in those colours for Hayley Turner, Andrew Balding and Barry Orr as well. I thought Bandinelli would take a lot of beating here, I've got to be honest. When he won in November, he beat a horse called Sleeping Lion, who won a fast-track qualifier for the big day in April at Newcastle. The runner-up did. The form looks really, really strong. Charlie Appleby loves Kempton, and I thought this might still be a Pattern Park class performance there, potentially in the making. James, you're on those
I
lines?
am in agreement. We had the third in that race, Prince of Hearts. He's won since. And Bandinelli, he looked fantastic in the paddock that day, actually, at Kempton. He looked like a proper stayer for the future. And they've kept hold of him. They could have transferred him to Dubai or even Australia.
Yeah.
I think he's got a big season because Chayapi wouldn't be keeping him if he didn't think there was some nice targets for him down the line.
Fair to say I need this to get over the line today. It's been a slow start for me, and I'm expecting this to be. But I will be saving on Imperium because the market looks a bit lopsided to me. Let's go down the line then. You like Imperium. 5-1 bigger than I thought you would be.
Yeah, I've backed him each way, actually.
Yeah, great each way bet.
I can't really see how he's out the 3 here, but he might not be quick enough, is my worry. I think the favourite will be very tough to beat. So I
From
wouldn't
the
really,
one poke as well, but he's right next door, isn't
I
he?
just think, I'd be very, very surprised if he's out the 3. And I think he's the most obvious one to beat the favourite if there is going to be one to serve it up to him. I think he's 5 from 6 on at Kempton, so he loves it here.
You can quite easily back the pair of them, I think, can't you?
Yeah.
You know, it's a good way to make sure you don't lose on this race anyway. Can the anti-postman provide any insight?
He could do. I think Bandinelli is going to be tough to beat, but I've just had a wager on Just Us at about 18.5 in the exchanges. I quite like Ian Williams with these recruits. This horse was with Andre Fabre last year. And he's taken a little bit of time to get going for Williams, but showed much more spark on his last start behind Chase the Dollar. And I think he's £5 better off with Mollywood for their meeting a couple of starts back. So, and that one's obviously a much shorter price. I just think he's probably worth a few quid at a massive price. But it's not bullish. I mean, I don't feel like I'm truly in flat mode just yet. But
Do you like all weather racing? Do you
I
persevere
don't
with that?
like it, no. I'm always rolling my eyes when I've got to write a race analysis for an all-weather race.
You feel you have to roll your eyes?
Yeah, well, I've got to do it because I was the only one working yesterday anyway. But anyway,
All those lucky
Prefer flat
lucky
turf.
readers today. Telling it how it is, does Robbie Wilders. So yeah, I was a bit surprised that no one put up Mollywood actually, but maybe he has hit his ceiling now. There's some old favourites in this, aren't there? None more so, I imagine, than All Right Sunshine, who just, again, he's 7 now, and Chauvelin as well.
He's a 110, still going strong. 3 wins.
He's
It's
had a
winter.
really good season for Jim Goldie, isn't he?
He's the kind of horse you wouldn't be surprised if he comes up and pops up at a massive price, but you can't really back. I don't know if you can trust him at, what is he, 22, I mean.
65th start this will be.
Yeah, legend.
He's
Love
been well
horses like
suited to
this.
Newcastle, of course, because he sits out the back, doesn't he? And he comes with that late run, and that stiff finish at Newcastle is just ideal for him because they tend to stop a bit in front there.
Yeah, exactly. Whether this is quite up his street, who knows? But he's getting on a bit now, the old boy. But we'll give him a cheer home if he's
Quite.
got a chance.
Jim
as long
Goldie,
as mine isn't in
one of the
frame.
hardest blokes to understand, but the nicest blokes to interview at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so what? I think Pistoletto is kind of interesting at a massive price, but because this horse was 8th in the Commonwealth Cup in 2020, and now he's run over 2 miles. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, he's going for a big 5 furlong further than he's ever been before today.
Yeah, I mean you can't back him, but keep an eye on him certainly. That's very interesting campaigning.
He has won here, of course, as well. I remember when he won. It took ages to get over the line here for John Ryan and Dara Keenan. Good young rider, Dara Keenan. He gave something a peach the other day. That would have been at Lingfield, maybe. Anyway, he caught my eye. In fact, it was at Lingfield. He gave something an absolute peach. Knew he was going to get there. Didn't go for the stick. Young rider going places, I think. Very much. All right, okay. So, yeah, go on, Barry.
I didn't know what a riffress meant. Did any of you guys?
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Did you?
What is it? No, I didn't have a clue.
Well, just one of our viewers, the Mighty Gomez, says this show is a riffress. So I had to Google it,
Yeah.
and it's very complimentary. Contains gold.
Hey, there we are.
Well done, the Mighty Gomez.
Even with Robbie Wilders on the show, we're getting
I
those
wish I
comments.
could hear what Barry was saying, to be honest.
Oh yeah, because you've not got your ear in, of course, have you?
For
Barry
the-
had said that auriferous means contains gold. And
No,
what
I
about-
didn't actually know that. That's
Well, you
interesting.
wouldn't-
Well, that kind of makes sense because the chemical symbol is AU, isn't it?
Ah, very
So
interesting.
there's always you've got
You
to think
are a
about
bit of
these
a dark
things. You've
horse,
got to think about these
Wilders.
things, mate.
Oh, you
I don't know
are.
why you're surprised.
Yeah, but the Mighty Gomez is always at the top of the chat, Barry, isn't he? In the start of the
Just to mention
start
for
of
those
the afternoons.
for those watching who aren't aware, we only own 3 earpieces.
Yes,
So
well,
the producer boys are ordering some in ASAP. I can't interact with Barry at all.
well, we wanted you in today, so this is a bit of an experiment. So far, it's going well.
It's going alright, isn't it?
It's going all right.
Can't wait for it to
Going
end.
all right. Collar next time, maybe.
I don't really do collars.
I
mate.
don't imagine you do. I did a what a
Nah.
shout with you, didn't I? And you came in
I had
and
my big coat on. Yeah, I was,
there's a lot
some
of
fella on
chat
Twitter-
about
Is
that
that what
Del
it was?
Boy
It was a
coat.
coat, was it?
Yeah, well, it's a nice bit of kit, mate. It was Zara, that.
Not for me.
Some fella on Twitter was saying I looked a bit like Rodney with his big coat.
Well, yeah,
Manifolds.
that was very apt.
Some fella saying it looks like he's wearing his nan's coat. That's a bit harsh.
Yeah, very much so. There is a poll out there as well, I should say. I can see that coming up in the chat for the Who Wins the Lincoln. Let's get some votes into that, shall we? Mujtaba, Modern News, Sally M, the top 3 in the market, or other. Let us know. Get up there. We'll give you a shout out. See how many percentages we can get for that. Wilders with the periodic table knowledge, says Jack. Says Jack Reeve, our
My
social
brother
manager
is an
today.
absolute freak with things. He can recite the entire periodic table.
Really?
Yeah, he can just like name every country capital in the world, like.
Is that something
And
you
that
do in the
sort of
office?
insight has rubbed off on me a little bit.
Country capital in the world. I didn't know they were on the periodic table.
No, I'm just using
Quiz
Come on, mate.
questions.
I'm just using this as an example that the guy he absolutely relishes,
Wait
just
till you work
having
with
this
Keith
kind of
Melrose.
pointless knowledge. I
All
bet
right.
Melrose is like that as well, actually, isn't he? He's that type.
We call him the Quizmaster.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh, start doing that now. I call him Purple Jumper because he used
He does
used
wear
to
a lot of
the
purple
same-
jumpers.
Do you know what? I got into his head so much that he actually stopped wearing it. And he started wearing a navy blue one. But then we started calling him Navy Blue Jumper.
What do I know
The
one sits
cycle
next to you in the
continued.
office? Now I know. You plough alone
No
furrows
one's
sometimes.
safe, mate. If you keep wearing that, I'll start giving you stick as well.
Well, with that T-shirt on, do not start. Do not start. All right, James, you're sitting there in the background. What are we going to do with
What,
the rest
Robbie
of this show?
Wilders?
Are we going to absolutely knock it out of the park with selections now?
Well, you're lagging behind, really.
You've started off
I've
with
given
an
you a
odds-on
bit-
winner of
I've
the
given you a bit of
Brocklesby.
help, so Banadelli might come in now.
A bit of the Millman shine coming onto Orton over
Bit
here.
of the word pre-show. I think that's why you're so confident with them.
Yes, quite, absolutely. All right, good stuff. Barry, we've watched him going down. Bandinelli, no price of him going much shorter than 11 to 8. Is there, I don't think, on the exchanges, or is there?
He was 240, so he's just under 647. 8 Imperium. Would you believe Auriferous has come in for support of 6.6 now? We backed it at 8.4. 6.2 Mollywood, and it's 25 barred at the top 4 in the betting.
I'm going to have a little bit on a reference now, because you know what happens on this show. Sod's Law is
Well,
the
no.
biggest law in racing, isn't it? We know what's going to happen. I will be saying takes the gold or something like that. As he, gold medal, podium. Something will happen like that. So I'm sure a lot of people out there going, oh, I'm going to have to get him with a little bit of a reference now. But again, it is that sort of market. You've got a top-heavy favourite and plenty of value elsewhere. Just Us. Interesting. Lightly raced. You
Yeah.
can come on for that again. Third time up is an angle in Australia. If you follow Australian racing, they say
Third time.
Third time up, yeah. First run, and if you speak to Kate Tracy, who is obviously in Tom George's yard, the wonderful Kate who comes on with us.
I know Woody Mullins. You've had it with Woody Mullins.
Well,
winner.
that's ridiculous, wasn't it? Kate had some time during the week, as we all saw. She's back next week, Kate Tracy, for the Scottish National. I'm thrilled to tell you. And she always says that Tom George's horses, third time up, is the time to get them. They're quite hard on themselves for the first 2 runs, especially the second one, she seems to think. And it's a big angle in Australia as well. Third time up, ready to peak. Freshness off, next run, third time up, bang. So that's what Just Us is hoping to do for the anti-postman who's putting his goggles back on.
I've seen the advert actually for the anti-postman. It came up
Keeps
on
flashing up
my
everywhere, doesn't it?
screen. Yeah.
Honestly,
That's scary.
To be fair,
it's
not-
annoying that happens because I try and get them to come up for these shows and all that sort of stuff, and it's just you that keeps popping up in my
I didn't
inbox.
ask for that sort of attention, mate. I'm not complaining. I mean,
You have made a good start, though, in fairness, haven't you? Should we just get that out of the way?
Yeah.
Plus 32
get,
points?
Get signing up. because there's much more to come as well.
There you go. Robbie Wilders giving himself the big one, and off we go. All right, 2 miles at Kempton Park. Sir Chauvelin doing what he does best and observing from the rear, the old boy, the veteran 10-year-old. What's this in the yellow on the outside? Hiroshima. Haven't seen him for ages, have we? And Tom Queally going straight to the front then for John Ryan. One of 2 for John Ryan. Pistoletto. It's always interesting when you got 2 from the same yard and you see one go on from the front and one's out the back. He's going to try and stretch them for Pistoletto. Wonder if that will snare any of you in. Auriferous. He is indeed hunting gold, isn't he, in second position. Bandinelli from the one poke, absolutely ideal. No surprise to see Imperium right on his back. That's the target then, isn't it, for Richard Kingscote? Is there a better all-weather rider than Richard Kingscote?
I think certainly
Year in, year out.
when he gets loose on the front, he's so good. But,
He is Mr. Haydock, of course, isn't he?
is,
But
yeah.
on the all-weather, he's absolutely fantastic. He is just hunting him up, and along with Mollywood, who loves it here, off a 77-day break for Daniel Muscat and Marco Botti. Stinker with Felix. They'll be hoping to improve that. Quite keen there, isn't he, Just Us?
It's been a tricky day, isn't it?
You are not having a great
I'm
time.
having a knack of picking horses that aren't settling down.
I'll tell you what.
Chill out a bit.
The worst, the more I do these close-up comments, and I do them a couple of days a week sometimes, the amount of horses that throw their races away in the first 2 furlongs.
You've
is
got to race
ridiculous.
efficiently.
Took Keenhold, race freely. James, if you had to pick one now?
I'm happy with our selection.
Bandinelli. Let's go to Barry then, see what the market's saying.
2.2 Bandinelli. He's a Betfair SP at 2.33, so he's in the box seat there. No massive change. 6 Malwood, 8.8 for Riffer, 7.8 Imperium, and it's still 30 bar, the top 4 in the betting.
Thank you, Barry. All right, Sunshine and Sir Chauvelin Park. It isn't ideal for them, is it? Stoppy-starty sort of stuff.
it looks a bit stoppy-starty, yeah.
Coined a phrase there.
Yeah, I like it. It's
The
good.
main
Stoppy-starty.
quartet are right in 2nd to 5th. They're all in the right place. I think if you backed any of those, you're not going to be complaining, apart from Robbie's, who's just been a bit keen.
Yeah, so I think all of us are sort of...
Well, I've taken some 18 on the exchanges and now he's out to 34. So that's not a value bet, is it?
Well, not really, no. Okay, good to know you're playing on exchanges. So you're definitely advertising this show, Cotwell.
Why are we saying
Fine,
exchanges?
Right, right. The exchange, you mean?
Say
Plural.
Betfair,
Oh, is it? Is
you're
that-
having it on Betfair,
Yeah,
Robbie.
yeah,
I
yeah.
do apologise, Barry.
There is no other
I
exchange.
couldn't hear what you said, but I
Well, all
assume
right,
that's
just look-
what you said, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I'll tell you what, you don't want an earpiece in, I can tell you that much. Anyway, we're on the far side, and Robbie's playing on the exchange. Quite right indeed. It's not the first time he's made a faux pas like that on the sponsored show.
Well,
let
let's
me
not
tell
focus
you.
on the past, mate. Come on.
The youthful enthusiasm of the anti-postman. Right, off we go. And Auriferous goes for gold
Auriferous.
then.
Strikes for
Bandinelli
gold.
covering the move. Going for gold, Auriferous. Look at Just Us. I'll tell you what, he's keen. Is he going to fall in the hole? Here comes Imperium Parky. Come on, let's get lively for this one, boys. Pistoletto, they've tried to set it up for him. Hiroshima is absolutely blown up. And in we go to the home straight. We go. It looks like Just Us is now falling in a hole. Anti-Postman is gone. Bandinelli
Come on,
is
Haley.
trying to go. Haley Turner
Imperium.
on the inside is the one to go. Imperium, Richard Kingscote, the big players in the market then. Diving for the inside is Imperium. Come on, Parky, you're going to get this. Bandinelli, though, is tough, isn't he?
Come on, Haley.
Primed all the way. But Auriferous, this is striking gold. Can he do it? I told you, Sodslaw always strikes on this show. It's between the two of them. Bandinelli, though, is going to just see him off. The short price good. They look at Sir Chauvelin, absolutely flying home. Runner Sledger, but it is Bandinelli seeing off Auriferous. Only silver medal for that one, and Sir Chauvelin back in third. That was an exciting race, Barry.
Riffer's hit a low of 1.67 for small money. So 6-4 on Haley traded at a short. I took the favourite all the time to go by. Now getting stacks of weight, obviously the runner up, but still the favourite took him all the length of the straight to get by the runner up. I didn't see what was fast finishing in
Sir
third.
Chauvelin.
Chauvelin, yeah. The old boy.
They're Chauvelin, was it? Yeah, right, okay. No, didn't trade short at all and run just a low of 10.
Oh, yeah, it was not run to suit him. And back at Newcastle on Easter, he could have a say, couldn't he?
Jim Goldie can produce these old boys on the big day. He's won so many of these big handicaps, big
Favourite
contests.
ever Jim Goldie horse?
Oh, what was the...
Jack Dexter?
Nanton.
Jack Dexter. That's
Love
the one.
Nanton.
He ran in the Cambridgeshire and the Cesaro.
Brilliant.
the new,
Nanton
he was
was.
Jack
I was
Dexter
just about to
as
say
well.
Hawkeye, didn't he?
Hawkeye the New.
Yeah, he
What
was.
name?
Yeah,
I mean,
Jim has
I
had
presume he's
some of the
Scottish.
great favourites, handicappers
Dexter,
into.
yeah.
Yeah, all right, great. And he's looked to Chauvelin. He
You
loves
can
to see these old
Glen.
boys going air. So well done if you've got Bandinelli. Right, this is it. I'm going through the rest of the card.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so.
I mean, I
Finger
need to,
out.
I think.
Yeah, first and second there. Imperium was a little bit disappointing, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, it was completely... He actually travelled really well. I kind of thought he would.
That shows how
he'd
slow they
stay
were
on
going.
a little
though,
bit,
the fact
yeah.
He was on the bridle because he's a big boat.
And
He
he had
is,
to
yeah.
use up that energy, didn't he? But Vanderlei, the fact he only just gets there, you see why he wears those cheek pieces, can't you? He's still got more in the locker. And I quite like, his attitude. Whether he's quite, the all-weather style, we might see him on Championships Day, shouldn't we? Of course, which is now run at Newcastle. It's a track. It's
I
a
hate
track
it.
I just can't get right.
Straight tracks at the headwind, you can play around with the draw. It's so hard to make it on the round track that you get lots of messy races and it's not.
Good
it's not
things
for
get
me.
beaten at Newcastle.
It's a tricky one. I mean, you get proper specialists though, and
Nable's won there, and
ones to track.
Yeah, good, very, very good horses do win there, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I liked it at Lingfield. It was good fun track, Lingfield, isn't it? The Canberra, and I can read Lingfield better than I can read Newcastle. That's for sure.
My local track growing up, that was Lingfield.
Lingers.
Yeah, sorry.
Did you used to go a lot? Or-
Probably been about 7 times. That's quite a lot for me. I don't go often.
No, you strike me as a more of a.
Sit down on the telly, mate. Have a cup of tea, enjoy yourself.
Watch it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and watch it all. Of course.
Watch it as well.
Well, there you are. You're getting this. I like it. There's a future yet for Robbie Wilders on somehow television. All right, okay. Great to have you watching us then. We've got we are 45 minutes away from the Lincoln. We've got the the Doncaster Mile coming up. Spring Mile's done. That is usually a small field. And there you can see him. And a lot of people will be resting with Ackers on Chindit. Barry, what price? I mean, what, with 1.6 something now, are we?
Yeah, 163 now. So, 6 to 4 on or 5 to 8 around that mark. Bosala is 5. Royal Champion 6.4 at 23. Tempest. I'm going to take the favourite on here. I know it's obviously the best form in the book, but at the price was 1.85, so nearly 10 to 9 on. He danced every dance last season, really. 5th to Poetic Player in the 2000 Guineas. Finished last season. He was 3rd to Assa Hill in Newmarket. Step up and trip. Potentially he needs a step up and trip. So if this is a tactical affair, I think it might just be done for a bit of toe on that drying ground. Bo Salah is a horse I like as well, just denied last day by Lord of the Lodge and by Dawn Approach. So step up and trip will really suit him. And Royal Champion was considered good enough to run in the Dante and was sent off favourite, 2-1 favourite for the Jerry Fielding. So they're no mugs really. Although they haven't got the form in the book that Chindit had. But I'm going to take them on at the price. We're going to set our own price here as well. We'll look at the lane at 163, please, James. So we're looking to take 50 quid at the backer's stake at 163. I think the market's coming towards us as well. So I'm confident that we'll get matched at 163.
Thank you, Barry, then. Okay, taking on Chindit. Is he going to land a knockout blow?
I think Chindit's too good for these, isn't he? Bosala, I thought that was a pretty decent run actually behind Lord of the Lodge. He's a bit of a Newcastle specialist, got loose at the front, and I thought it was a fair enough run finishing second there. Royal Champion, don't know. I'll just give a slight plug to the Weekender if you don't mind.
Surprised you haven't done more.
Well, followers of Paul Keeley will be sat on at 7 to 4 on Chindit. He made a very good case for it in the weekend. It was a much bigger price earlier in the week, so if you got on at early prices,
He's making me envious.
I mean,
yesterday,
touch wood. We don't want anything to go wrong now, but made a very good case for it in the weekend at 7 to 4. He said everything that's going to happen. The race is going to cut up. He'll go off big odds on. I think he'll be hard to beat. It's not a price that I would be getting involved in. But yeah, I'm sure there are people who've got Ackers and stuff rolling on. And
big time.
Yeah, I don't think you've got anything to worry about. I think he should be too good for these. But
it's not often that Keels says, I think an odds-on shot is too big. But when it was around about 8 to 11 yesterday when we were doing our previous shows, and Keels said I think it's more like a 2 to 5 shot.
He's a high-class horse, though, isn't he?
This is probably this and then Lockinge.
Yeah, I backed this in the Guineas last year, and I thought he was going to have a really
2 from 2
big
at Donny.
season. Yeah,
he won the Champagne Stakes at 2.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he just got a little bit. Look, he ran some good races, didn't he? He just got a little bit lost. They pushed him towards the Guineas. We know that Newmarket is in his track. He ran a cracker there, actually, didn't he? Considering the dip probably wasn't for him as a 2-year-old. And horses just can get a little bit lost. If there is a 4-year-old miler, I'm not suggesting he's anywhere nearby Eid or anything like that, but he's a Queen Anne.
The only thing that would put me off backing at this, you just don't know how fit these horses
well,
are
it's
at this point
Hannon.
of the season.
It's Ross at Ryan who can do no wrong.
Yeah, he should be too good for them. He's got £8 in hand on ratings, and I actually think that Chindit will end up a better horse than a 1-1-2 this year. So,
right.
Yeah, I think he'll be very hard to beat. Not getting involved at 8 to 13, but I think there are worst 8 to 13 shots if they're the thing that take your pickle, really. So.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And like you say, there will be a lot of backers going on to this. We've got who's the filly that's running the Park Stakes?
Mother
Earth.
Yeah.
Mother Earth, just mother, not Mother of Earth.
Mother Earth.
Yeah, Mother Earth.
She's a lovely filly, and she's got
Yeah,
a
for
terrible
Aidan
record in it.
O'Brien, first time out though.
It's got a rotten record in it, but yet she's 2's on in that, so it's quite an interesting what to
It's a weak race.
3:40, isn't it? Just after we go off air at the Curragh. Great to see them racing in the Curragh at the Sunshine today. All right, Anti-Postman.
Yes.
When I spoke
do you know
to-
what? So please continue.
Thank you. When I spoke to William Aggis yesterday, albeit bit frantically, I got the feeling the one horse that he was looking forward to seeing run today out of all of them was Busala. And
Interesting horse, isn't it?
when I'm in this lucky position of chatting to these great guys, you sometimes get the idea that they do quite like it. Marie's Rock was the same with Nicky Anderson when I spoke to him just before Cheltenham.
Was in the Lincoln as well, this, wasn't it?
This was in the Lincoln, and Williams' worry is that this will be a silly race, because you remember the first time at Ascot on VA Dream or VAR Dream, remember we say Charlie Fellows, filly.
I'll say
who won
Dream
that?
myself.
The Dream.
Yeah.
This was far too keen, and then came out on a massive price. Do you remember? Like, whenever
Yeah.
you see a haggis horse go off that price, you think it can't possibly win.
22s.
And
If he's
it
been
did
training
win.
this for the Lincoln, though, it might be a good bit fitter than...
We said after that win that he was
Rivals.
going to keep going on the all-weather. It's first time up at a mile, but I think he's looking forward to it, and he's hoping that Tempest goes on for Adam McNamara and Archie
should go
Watson,
on,
the
yeah.
outsider. Should go on.
Do you know what? It's funny you say that. You got some insight from William Haggis, because I actually got some insight from Roger Varian's racing manager. Do you remember David Baxter used to work here?
Yep.
Juvenile judge, taking a
Bax.
job. D-Bax, yeah.
Yeah.
Taking a job as Roger Varian's race planner.
He has.
And he sent me a text when I was on a night out last night, and I was laughing. He was saying, Royal Champion, I don't know what you're on about, mate, basically. He's got £20 in hand.
Is that what he said?
That's what he said, yeah. He said he wouldn't be shocked if he beats Chindit.
There we are. Okay, putting the cat amongst the pigeons
But,
there.
I mean, I don't agree with him. I think Chindit will...
Just wins.
Yeah, I mean, this horse, the Varian's horse is a half-brother to Outbox. He was a 1 mile 6 horse. I don't think mile was way too sharp for him.
Well, of course, as Barry said, he ran in the Dante. He's obviously had his problems as well as Nicky's
Yeah,
quite
exactly.
lightly raced.
He's open to plenty of improvement, but he's got to really step it up. I mean, when the market opened, he was second favourite ahead of Basal. I thought that was wrong. And now he's probably where he should be. But
So David Baxter's professional reputation is just at stake thanks to Robbie Wilders.
basically, I mean, there's a bit of tongue-in-cheek from D-backs, to be fair, but yeah, I just think Chindit's going to be too
The thing
good.
is with these Roger Varian horses, James, they all work well, don't they? They all seem to just work well and be buzzers. And they're always at the front of the market before anyone knows what's going on.
Especially the Shake Obeyed runners as well. They're well bred, that they're bred to be decent, and they're often highly tried pretty quickly in their careers. And obviously, it's gone a little bit wrong for Royal Champion. Interesting, because 100 for me, the Lincoln would have been a better option.
So does that suggest this is a prep?
Possibly, just want to get him back on track. It's 317 days. The three outsiders as such would normally be in the Lincoln. I think Busala isn't in it because Haggis has got 3 other ones in it already, so there's no point putting 4 in. And the Doncaster Miles cut up. Tempest 101, he's probably about right. He's going to get, at worst, he's going to get prize money for 4th. So for Chindit, it is an obvious one. He didn't really throw away any opportunities that he should have won. If you're backing odds-on shot, when they've done that, that's when you worry. Where he was 3 from 3 as a 2-year-old, didn't handle a dip at Newmarket. Again, didn't really handle it in the Guineas. And at the end of the season, he went back to Newmarket. He ran well, but the dip just doesn't suit him. And the connections know that. It was just a race they were trying to win, whereas he ran well in the top class races that I think he ran up to his best. He just wasn't good enough to win. So now he's got £8 in hand on the official ratings. I'm not sure how much better than 112 he is. He may well improve this year, so I wouldn't bash it, but I do think this is a gilt-edged opportunity. And yes, he's short, but I could see him being shorter, to be honest.
Well, okay, strong. You know, we're kind of expecting Chindit to go and do this, but there are some interesting Haggis. Like I said, the Haggis team are looking forward to seeing what Busala can do first time out of the mile. Obviously, the Varian team think the World Champion's got a big day in him, and Tempest will ensure that this is hopefully a fairly run race. But Barry is taking on Chindit. That's 3 o'clock. We've got 5 minutes. Let us know what wins. We'll try and get some social shouts out. Who's going to win the Lincoln is the poll out there as well if you're watching on YouTube. Our channel there. Let us know. Get involved. That is a proper race, though, isn't it? We've been moaning about Spring Marne and all that sort of stuff. That is an absolute belter.
We've got a trio, and we have a very unexposed types that in any normal year would be the one standout. Then you've got Darkness coming over from France.
He's
first
the
round,
fascinating
David Amara. Rogue Bear, I quite like him at a price. I would have loved him in the Spring Mile. But it's a great race, completely split across the track as regards to the draw. So yeah, so while I've been whinging about the Spring Mile for sure, the actual quality in the Lincoln and a few lower rated ones than perhaps in the past have got in with a bit of scope with their handicap mark. So it's a cracking race to look forward to.
Very much so. Let us know who wins the Lincoln then. Again, we won't tease it out there. I've already said that Amethyst is just about on top for me, but I will be throwing some others into the pot as well. Barry then, he's on his way down Chindit. He looks an absolute picture.
Yeah, he's still hovering 163 around the mark we laid him at. 4.7 Bo Salah, Royal Champion 7 and 28 Tempest. I think he's found his price now, Dave, around that 162 mark. Obviously, the horse have left the braid ring now and they're going down to the post. I think he's won on it first time up as a 2-year-old. He won the Greenham last year as well, first time up. So, that's not going to be an issue. I don't think fitness is going to be an issue. Just if it turns into a very tactical affair, I'm hoping that he might just be done for a bit of toe.
Okay, yeah, well, that is I guess.
I think he wants to step up and trip. I think you'll see him mile 2 early in the season.
That is an interesting play for him. Of course, we talked about Baid earlier stepping up. Could Chindit be doing as well? He's a bit grinder, isn't he? But yeah, you were saying he did get a tad lit up.
Just when he went down and the Betfair Exchange went from 1.63 out to 1.66. It's gone back into 1.63. But Barry has laid him at nearly the shortest price that he's gone on Betfair. And it's fascinating about the trip because he does lack that turn of foot in the highest grade over 7 a mile, and to maybe over further, it might just see him find that little bit of improvement he needs. It's not a lot, but that could be an interesting angle.
Whoever settles best will probably be the one to jump on, I imagine, in running here, because, like you said, if you're looking at angles to try and take on Chindit, it might be the small field, mightn't it? But Hannon off the mark in the Brocklesby, wow. We're expecting him to maybe turn up at Royal Ascot if he keeps in one piece, of course, the Brocklesby winner. And Rosser Ryan, of course, has taken out the Spring Mile as well. So Rosser on a treble here. Lots of you expecting him to do it. Okay, all right. So just a quick update about Kelso as well for you guys. We are expecting the air ambulance is just due to arrive, but they haven't run the 2:45. So it's likely that we will be skipping the 3:15 as planned. If you might have seen a terrestrial race, I'm not sure what they'll be doing on ITV, but hopefully young Conor again is okay. Air ambulance, though, suggests it was a horrible fallout in the first race.
Very, very nasty. And
State Diamond was the
horrible to watch, that was it?
Yeah, okay, but the guys in the gallery are keeping an eye on that. We will keep you updated. I'm going to see if I can find a quote, actually, for that Brocklesby winner.
1.68 now.
Is that what Chindit is?
So he is a little bit on under F there.
Okay. Let's totally switch attentions after this racing, because we're going to basically have a gap, that means, between Donny, Donny Mile, and also the Lincoln as well. So plenty of chat out there. Perhaps we'll go reminiscing on Cheltenham a little bit. Perhaps we'll look forward to the National. Perhaps we'll look forward to Royal Ascot or anything like that. I asked about the sprint series. Who's going to be the big sprint this year, I asked. Has Dragon Symbol moved?
Yes, he's gone to Varian. And Matt Chapman asked Archie Watson, how's your horse doing?
Oh,
absolute classic.
That's an early season flat clanger, isn't it?
He was not amused.
Wasn't he? No, because Archie, I mean, that's a big horse for Archie to lose.
That's a sickener for anybody, but the fact that Matt...
And there was unfinished business with Dragon Symbol, of course.
He didn't quite get the job done, which was a shame, and he's just could well improve again.
I thought he'd win the Flying Five, I seem to remember.
He had a hard season, though, because he ran in the weather in the winter, made his debut, so he never had a break, and I just think that kind of caught out of him. But it'd be fascinating to see how he gets on at Team Varian.
Rossa Ryan, very complimentary about Persian Force, I'm reading, by the way. The Brocklesby winner. Very complimentary indeed. So I think we will be seeing, and they'll want to have a Royal Ascot runner, won't they, without question.
Yeah. They'll have a whole load of them.
All right, okay. But for now, we're back to Donny. It's the mile, the listed mile, and away we go. We're hoping that Tempest goes straight to the front and ensures a fair pace. Off he goes, the outside of them for Adam McNamara and Archie Watson, Hamilton Racing Colours. Who is going to settle the best, we said?
Favourite a bit keen. He's out 6-4.
He is out to 6-4.
7-4,
3.4.
Reaction.
Wow. Do you think it's a
Actually, now it's not. Now from what I've
He
just
is
seen.
lit up. This is what you would call pulling hard if you were doing the comments. You don't have to see them. Tell you, has settled well. Bulsara at the back.
Be delighted
Parky?
if you backed him.
Yeah, but absolutely. I think Royal Champions seems to be.
Yeah.
Just got a nice.
5-2, the favourite.
Wow, this just shows you, isn't it, the exchange, the real market, live there as you can see it. They do not want to be with Chindit, but he has got the class. He's got it. Let's see what he can find then. Ross Ryan doing his very best. Busala keeps catching my eye. Tempest, yeah,
Adam McNarana did.
is he just
increase the
quickening
pace
now?
at
We're about
halfway,
Favourite
and that
wins
has
now,
helped
doesn't he?
Chindit
well, the
quite
favourite's
a
now
lot.
on the
Chindit's,
bridle.
yeah, he's-
Royal champion being outpaced. Definitely also wants to go over further. Said Robbie Wilders. Looks
Have
like
to
that's
get to the
being
one
brought
in
up.
front, didn't
He
he?
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
Tempest, yeah, if they let this one slip.
Tell you what.
Busala has been caught out of his ground. He will finish strong. He was ridden to get the trip. Could he yet come over him? Chindit, how much does that early exuberance cost him
He
then?
doesn't now.
Wow,
Rides
there
on.
you go then. Chindit, he is a brave
Yeah, he
little
wins.
miler, this. And you can see, look, Class just coming to fore.
Busala.
Busala absolutely trapping. And you can see why William Haggis quite likes him. But Tempest running a blinder. They let him slip up front. Royal champion, absolutely nowhere, falling out the back of the telly. They've ended up on the stands
As
rail.
I expected.
Woo! Calm down then if you went for Chindit. There were some big scares early doors, but the cream has risen. Barry Orr.
Yeah, he traded at a high of 4.4. So 7-2 on the Betfair Exchange. I heard someone say a bit of an overreaction. He was pulling particularly hard, but I think it's more a case where, you know, he's beating the rag of the field there. The runner-up Tempest at Betfair SP at 28. Royal champion, I'd say they'll pull stumps with him now. He looks useless, and Bo Salah ran no sort of race either. So I think it's more by process of elimination he's won there than Class or anything the favourite. It's a watch and breed for him now. The Betfair SP at 1.75 as well.
Yeah, Royal champion, he looks useless. Dave Baxter probably thinking,
Yeah, I might send him a text right now, actually.
Well, why don't you do that
Just to
and see if
say.
he replies to it? 2 stone in hand, apparently. But he is also probably had his problems. Let's hope he's all right, because he might just have been feeding something
Yeah,
there.
he
Busala,
lost
I
his
was expecting
speed.
Busala to get second, weren't you? But he flattened out a
The
bit.
winner had the second had by far the best ride, and he quickened at the right time, and it just left Kieran Fallon. He was waiting a bit too long. He didn't get after him early enough, and then that's why he's not got second. But the
There's
winner
actually no mug Tempest, is he? Proper 101 horse, maybe on the all weather, but
and getting the perfect scenario for him, and
Yeah.
Adam kicked him clear at the right time. He got the favourite off a bridle, and Rosser would have been having a little bit of a panic out, but that stand has come to the fore. The interesting thing, I like Barry's angle about stepping him up to 10 furlongs, but how keen he was in those first couple of furlongs against true Group 2, Group 3, Group 1 horses. He ain't going to be able to run that keen in the early stages. So
Would
might
that be
something
down
going
to
forward.
them going much?
They have gone too
slower
slow,
pace?
but in a mile and a quarter group race when there's only 5 runners,
It
this
might
kind
just
of
be a little bit
scenario-
fresh today, James. Would he? First time up?
Yeah, because when
Just a
you
little
went
bit fresh.
when you were
That might just
chatting,
take the edge off him.
going down to the start, but Rosser was bolt upright trying to seesaw effect. That's real severe trying to get him back. He was just.
what are you
right on
thinking
heels.
now if you're Ross Ryan when we're watching after 2 furlongs and he's literally pulling his arms out?
He's got
There are
no
a few
choice. but to
expletives
sit and
coming out.
Yeah, he wouldn't be particularly impressed. Odds on favourite. The horse is trying to do his best to ruin his chances, but he's got a fair bit in hand. And the opposition was right, but actually we can see that on the head on, he's having a right old look at the paddock enclosure where poor old George Baker got dumped by Cotai Glory all those years ago in the Scarborough. It's a
I'm sure,
tricky
thank you for
little
bringing that one up.
little exit there, and he's quirky. I wouldn't be surprised if a little bit of cheek piece or something might go on in the future, just to keep him concentrating, because he wasn't concentrating when he hit the front, that's for sure.
Think of Hannon and cheek pieces, do you?
I saw him as a miler this year, but after seeing that, I think Barry was right all along. I think 10 furlongs is going to bring the best out in him.
He's quite a tiny horse, and he compact is what you
Yeah.
would call him, Chindit. And he,
Diminutive.
diminutive.
We use that one quite a lot. We always say Tiger Roll is very diminutive.
Yeah,
Bit overused.
Tend to hear that a little bit. Talking to Tiger, let's get some Aintree chat going in a little bit, because we have got a break now until the Lincoln. And isn't it interesting? We've had 2 races on the straight where they have veered over towards the stands rail. Are you high or are you low with the draw in the Lincoln? 22 runners. One more race we think it's going to be then, because there was a horrible fall earlier. If you're just joining us and you come in from an afternoon wondering what's going on at Kelso, they haven't. I don't know even if they've got the 2:45 off yet. The air ambulance had to go and get Conor McCann, who had a terrible fall off the Lucinda Russell train. Diamond State, wasn't it? That was the name of the horse. So look, we hope he's all right. We'll keep up to date. You will, of course, hear first at the Racing Post. Right. Yeah, the air ambulance has just arrived. I'm seeing Andrew Dietz is our roving reporter up there, and he has just told us about that. Okay, where are we going now? We'll get the Lincoln market up shortly. There is Chindit then. We'll see what Richard Hannon says. I'll be surprised if he didn't say the Lockinge.
Well, there's not going to be a particularly strong lock-in this year, is it really? Thinking of contenders.
yeah.
If you
What are
mention
the other
that five.
milers? Has someone
Is
looked
there a
in the
market?
anti-post
Is there a
markets?
market up for that?
No, there won't be yet.
Nah.
I don't
This
think
is what annoys me nowadays. Like, it just takes ages for these anti-post markets to come up.
well, you are the anti-post
Yeah,
man,
it's gonna-
so I imagine no one looks
It's
more
going to be
than
hard
you,
work
do they?
for me
It's
going
quite-
forward.
it's
So
quite
there's
nice to know
nothing
you
out
get
for
annoyed
Aintree
by it,
apart
though.
from the Grand National.
All right.
That's not true. That's not true. The Fox Hunters is priced. The Topham is priced.
Yeah. There
Fox
are
Hunters and
races,
Toppers.
of course.
Come on, do your
Oh,
homework.
sorry,
Robbie.
mate.
You're being thrown under a bus. Quite right. You
What races we got?
Started off very strongly, talking about, you know, all
Fox
the right
Hunters
brands.
and
To be
the
fair, the
Topham.
Topham's like
Yeah,
that.
the Topham's.
sorry,
Topham's a great race, isn't it?
Forgive me.
I love. You are forgiven. I love the Topham. We're talking about Aintree, of course. What's the weather going to be like? Because they were talking about watery. They always do, don't they? With the National coming up. Favourites. I was looking last night, actually. I went randomly to a dinner party. And what do you get asked when you're in racing? At this time of year? Give us the National winner. All right. So should we do a give us the National winner?
Yeah, let's
All right?
do it.
So at the moment, Tom Segal's obviously had a big bearing on the Max McNeil horse.
Scorer 10.
Ascaria
Yeah,
10.
I've backed him as well.
Have you?
Yeah, he's one of three I've backed.
In the
I've
Thyaces
got to be
chase, he
carried away.
cruised
I've
and
already.
then whittled
Yeah.
out. He, of course, him and Any Second Now have got a bit, you know, sort of form now, haven't they?
Yeah.
Any Second Now, £7 more. He would be, of the market leaders, the more likely one for me.
Any second now just keeps proving people wrong, doesn't he? I couldn't believe he beat Ascaria 10 last. I think Ascaria 10 was a bit unlucky not to win that race last time.
Ah, okay.
But I mean, it's just that national one chase form, isn't it, behind Gal?
When will the anti-postman be putting one up for that if you haven't already?
I haven't yet. Well, mate, could be an angle next week actually.
Look out for the pop-up.
I also like Santini. He's just
yeah.
no.
Yeah, no, I'm sighing because when I saw the story that we ran on Santini yesterday, I thought, it could just be. And Nicky Henderson
Cost
said
me my bet of my lifetime, Santini.
Go
What
on.
was that?
I had a lucky 15 a couple of years ago at Cheltenham. It was the first 3-1. It was anti-post as well. I had Champ, Enviolin, Sam Crow.
This is something you
Or-
do, Parky, as well, isn't it? You do
I
early
normally
season
put,
ones.
Yeah, I normally put early season. Actually, the season before, I had two very close. They paid well, like. But yeah, Santini was the last leg for 37 grand.
He became a bit sour, didn't he, Santini?
Yeah.
Much happier now.
At Polly's.
Much
Yeah.
happier.
Yeah.
He
I don't
ran
know
well
the
behind
Cup,
Chantry House the other day. I can't really remember how he ran in the Gold
Well, the
Cup.
three,
I
the
can't.
three that ran the Cotswold were struggling quite badly in the Gold Cup.
Chantry House was a stinker, wasn't it? Yeah.
But he was a stinker in the Cotswold. He still managed to win. But it's been hard for Polly to get the weight off him because he looked real big when he went to Cheltenham the first time. And he actually ran well in that handicap. But as his enthusiasm, he actually wants to do it. Whereas at Nicky's, he lost the plot completely and he couldn't barely raise a counter when he ran the Gold Cup last year.
This is the national we're talking about. Just quickly, we've got a bit of time, of course, until our next. So get it in. Let's have some chat going out. I'll come to Barry in a minute.
Do you remember we used to really wind up Kitty in the office about
I
Santini?
know, yeah. Well, I kind of put it in the
Kitty tries.
Calling
I put it in that lucky 15 just in
Yeah.
case it won. Yeah.
You had one this year as well, didn't you? That nearly copped, didn't you? What was the one that let you down?
I had that was just a daft 5-pack. At first, I thought it was only Tiger Roll that let me down, but it turned out it was Tiger Roll and Shishkin. But it was it was a £5 free bet that I put on a 10-fold
To
or
win
something.
millions or whatever.
Yeah,
but-
it was about
yeah.
30 grand or something. And yeah.
You mentioned Shishkin there. Let's just diverse a bit of it. You did a piece, didn't you? Which Paul Keeley advertised really, really well in his about being worried about Shishkin going forward.
Yeah, I did point out we did like tipping panels for the Ultimate Guide, and I did have a worry going into the Champion Chase. It was all about. I actually put Shaq and Possoir up. I was slightly concerned about that race at Ascot. It was a very attritional affair. I mean, I know Energumen's come out and won the race, so on that front, but I mean, Shishkin was off the bridle a long way out.
That's the thing. One was off the bridle for 7 furlongs, one was off the bridle for 2 furlongs, and the one that was off the bridle for 2 furlongs lost, but yet won the battle.
We
at
saw, if you remember, the Altior surname clash was the clash we'd all been. It kind of turned a bit sour. I don't think we ever saw the best of them after. I know surname won once at Wetherby, but he was never the same. Altior wasn't really the same after it. You know, I've been one as well, criticised Henderson for
He's never ever going to
ducking
run at
these.
Ascot on soft ground.
That's
ever
the
again.
problem, James, isn't it? Yeah, we
And
said
I
it
don't
on this
think we'll
show
ever see
straight
these again.
afterwards. We were like, oh, let's not hope Hendo doesn't be Hendo with
They're
this.
going to only appear good ground at Cheltenham because that's 2 of his best horses. I could see it looked like he just hated racing at Cheltenham.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, for me, if you blame the ground, if he'd gone a mile and was then floundering, but he didn't even get to the first fence. And they are jump horses. It's not like they can't go on heavy ground, and he's got form on the surface. For me, it looked like a horse who just had a pretty bad experience at Ascot.
What
I wasn't
heard-
at Cheltenham, but walking around the paddock, he didn't look overly like
And
enthusiastic.
Nat Green was on the shows. You saw, as she came on, and she obviously knows, top to toe. And she said he just didn't look happy at all. I spoke to Joe McGrath this week, obviously, we had on the show, gave us the line of Constitution Hill, which came off brilliantly. And Shishkin just didn't. And they are slightly worried that they can't really find anything.
No, that's even worse.
That's what
there,
the problem
should have
is.
been a lame the next day, lost a shoe or something that
Still
that
waiting for the
make
excuse of Bob Ollinger to come out as well, aren't we? That's
a
another
wind
one
issue,
you've got
I
to worry
reckon.
about.
I reckon he'll be having a wind up.
Do you?
He had his head right upright and he walked up the hill like.
But Shishkin, does he come back, Robbie Wilders?
Yeah, I mean, were you saying in your piece that you thought he had a much harder race than Ergun would still have a very hard race there?
I pointed out before the champion chase, I thought that it looked a hard race, and it wouldn't have surprised me if both of them fell flat.
I opposed both of them for that
Yeah,
reason.
I really fancied Shakan, and we'll never know.
He wasn't
whether
going
he'd have
badly.
got up the hill, but he was jumping lovely in front when he.
It was a
came
mad.
down. It was a mad
20
fence because
seconds,
it was like
wasn't it?
8th fence. Shishkin pulled up 9th,
What
and
horrible
I was
rain.
rubbing my hands together, thinking, right, come on,
I've
Shakan,
got
do
it
the
now.
business. And
Go
then
down
he
all
was
over
over.
again.
Would
And
have
then
been
it just
fascinating.
became a bit of a farce because Energumen was far too good for them.
All right.
Ambil Civil in seconds.
Yeah.
Sort of dampens the.
Cheltenham is in the rearview mirrors now, but there's still a lot of questions coming out of it, aren't there, of course. Barry, let's come to you then. Does Shishkin come back, yes or no? And who are we looking at for the National in Dublin at the minute?
The Shish can come back. Yeah, I'm sure he does. I don't see why not. He's got time on his side still. And the National, I fancy one strongly in it. As strong as you can in the National, I suppose, although it is a lot watered down in recent years. But Longhouse Poet of Martin Brazel, Fiestes winner. Martin Brazel, one of the most underrated trainers, not in Ireland, but by the English public. They really don't know him much, but he has already trained a national winner in number 6, Valverde.
One of my favourite horses of all time, Barry.
Yeah, me too. I backed it to you in the National.
That was an old school National winner.
This horse has a lot of back class. Like, you go back, he beat Monkfish in his bumper. You go back and look at some of the Grade 1 hurdles he ran in, he mixed it with the best of them. And then over fences, you know, he's won his couple of races, but he really shone in the Fiestes. They ran him then in the Boyne hurdle last day just to keep him sweet. Obviously, that's a race that's been used by Grand National winners before. I think Tiger Rhodes won that previous years. And he goes there, a relatively fresh horse. He's about 25 to 1. And I've been chipping away at him at 40 and 33. He's into 25 now. And I'll have a nice touch if he wins.
Forget the Boyne hurdle. Longhouse Poet, come back to form, says Barry Orr, in the National. Longhouse Poet is, I seem to remember you fancied him for the Boyne, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. He ran a stinker there, though, didn't he?
He went off 5 to 2 favourite for that, but that
5 to
was
2
never going. That's not high on their agenda. You know, he was always after the Diestes. It's all about the National.
Yeah, all right. So for number 6, Valverde. So we cannot wait for National Week. Crowds back at Aintree as well is a big thing. Before we move on to Lincoln, and we'll go through all the field for you very shortly. Get some selections in as well. Liverpool has missed the Grand National, hasn't it? We've all been up to the meeting. It's a
I've
mad
never been
meeting,
to Liverpool.
isn't it?
Really?
Good, isn't
Never
it?
been.
Yeah, I've heard
Oh,
good
the
things about
National's
nights
good, yeah.
out in Liverpool.
It's one and only. It's crazy.
It's a
stuff.
magnificent meeting. Tell him he
Yeah.
needs to get himself up there.
You need to be getting yourself up there, says Barry. Perhaps Betfair will take you up there if you play.
Well,
on-
please do, yeah.
You know, remember that just there's no
Pamper me.
there's no plural on exchanges though. Remember that. Yeah, that's a biggie when you come on the show. Just to let you know.
Understood.
Yeah, it's what we've got to work with in the tipping department now. You see.
Surely. I'm normally such a stickler for things
Last
like that as
national
well.
we went to. You've been a few times,
I've
surely.
only been to the National once. It
Have
was
you?
Rule the World. Yeah.
Man, it was
Loved
horrible
it, though.
weather,
Loved-
wasn't it?
That's
that
the
day?
first time I went to Aintree, and it was bad weather.
Did you go all 3 days or?
Nah, we went just for the National Day. We had a right old day. It was like first train in the morning out to Liverpool, on the beers on the train up,
too early.
mixing with the
I made the
locals.
fatal mistake of going on the Thursday and going hard on the Thursday.
Yeah.
And then come the end of the night. Monty's Pass was the one that I really remember. That was a hell of a party at the Adelphi Hotel up there. James, National?
Never been. I rode on
Never
a
been.
Friday in the Mayor's Bumper once.
Did you?
Some sights on that occasion.
Yes. Yes. Well, that's Ladies' Day, isn't it? The Friday. Yeah. That's the one the tabloids
I'm
love.
actually
But listen,
I'm at a wedding during
all
the
you
national.
Scousers out there, we are looking forward to seeing you well represented. As Barry says, it is a magnificent meeting, and a lot's been said about the crowds going back to Cheltenham, but Aintree has desperately missed it. Liverpool will be alive. Let us know if you're going to that. Of course, Grand National Day's sold out, I think, already, isn't it? That is on the 9th. Cannot wait for that after the Scottish National next week. Right, shall we go Lincoln Heavy now, yeah?
Let's go for it.
Because you really like one. We'll get to that in a sec. Let's get some social selections up on the screen. I think I just heard... Oh, hang on. My mic might have gone. I'll let you... Barry, take it away. Talk to us about the Lincoln.
The Lincoln, I certainly will, Dave. So at the moment, the money's coming again for Mujtaba, 4.7 now, 7.4 Modern News. He's a massive drifter considering he was favourite this morning at around 4.7, 4.8 on the exchange. Amethyst is 9.6, same price as Salem. Notre Belle Bait is 13, 16.5 Road Bear. Darkness out to 18.5. He was the real springer in the anti-post market. He had been 16 and 20, maybe even 25 in a place. He was an 8-1 chance on the sportsbook at one stage this morning. He's out to 18.5 in the exchange. 6 places on the Betfair sportsbook here, the each way backers. But I'm backing Kieran Fallon and Mujtaba. He was sent off 11-10 on his debut in Chepstow in August last year. He was drawn 8 of 8 in Chester. He was sent off 1-4 in the novice race there, and he absolutely slooshed in. He carried his penalty well, and then he went and beat Empire State of Mind in Redcar, giving him £8. Now, Empire State of Mind didn't really frank that form earlier, but I'll forgive him that. I just think he's a horse, that old saying, he's definitely better than a 98 rated horse. I think there's still fat in that handicap mark for him. And 4.7, we're just going to have 50 quid win on him. I'm happy to be a price taker here because the market's gone down. So at around the 7-2 mark, happy to be a price taker. I can't see him going much shorter than that in the exchange because obviously it's such a competitive race. But yeah, I think he's a horse that we'll see running group races before the year's out.
Absolutely. I can see that very much so. 1-1-1, Shadwell, Haggis, Kieran Fallon gets the plum ride. Poor Adam Farah had an accident at home, broken ankle for him. He's going to spell on the sidelines. Kieran was riding Amethyst. Rossett Ryan, who has made rather a bang to the days on Amethyst, and that is coming for money as well. Tom Seagal, of course, he anti-post picked out Mujtaba. That was one of the reasons why it plunged down, and Amethyst is his pick today as well. So they're the 2 for money. Really, Modern News, Barry says, going on the slide. I'm really surprised about that. Saleem, lots of people like him. Ross Coakley, your man, I'm tempted to say. James Millman.
Roscoe's gone on to bigger and better things, having been exclusively riding for us for most
He had a
of
great
last
grounding,
summer.
though, didn't he? The best grounding.
Yeah, he had a few instructions from me and post-race debriefs.
And he's jumped ship.
Yeah, he could have been riding ours in the 5 o'clock at Kempton, but instead, for some reason, he's gone to Donny.
What runs in the 5 o'clock at Kempton?
A filly called Soydal. She's 3rd last time at Seville, given a bad ride. Wasn't impressed with the apprentice.
Good to have you back, James.
Do not go on the slow inside at Seville, and he manages to switch onto the slow ground, so he won't be used again. But yeah, Roscoe's a good rider. He's a good lad. He thinks about it. He was John Ox's rider when John had his last couple of seasons, and he was left without a home really in Ireland. So he's come over to the UK. We were very lucky to get him last year, and now he's riding a lot for the Crisfords. He's had a good winter for them. Slightly concerned for Salem is that the 2 best starts are on Neil Weather, and he only really ran to a 60 on the turf in his first 2 starts. So a little bit of a question mark for me, and he's had a wind surgery since we last saw him. I'm big Harry Davis fan. I think he is going to be champion apprentice.
This year, obviously.
This year, yeah. He straight away he's hit the ground running. Obviously, Benny de la Sayette is back at Wolverhampton today, so he could be one that has a say as well. But
what a difference a year makes, eh?
Exactly, a year ago he was the Harry Davis first ride on turf, winning the Lincoln. But I think he's very good. I saw him ride a Godolphin horse, Tranquil Night. I think it was like his 10th ride, riding a Godolphin horse in a maiden or novice. He was a bit keen going down to the start, had a wide draw, and we had a run in a race. I thought, he's going to get run away with. It's just going to be a disaster, having a young kid and a horse like that. Popped him out, tucked him in, got him to the inside, gave him the absolute A1 perfect ride. And a race where the pressure would have been very high for anyone, never mind a kid that's only had a handful of rides. He's 6 from 32. The right people are using him. I think he's going to go far. Now, for me, Haggis had to bet Adam Farrager on Mujtaba because he felt he couldn't give £7 away to
This is an interesting angle, actually, isn't it?
So for me, I'm Kieran Fallon, he rides okay, but the £5 claim, William Haggis clearly thought that he needed the £5 claim. So that would be why I'd be more in the Modern News camp. I've changed my mind. Pre-Adam's injury, I was going to back the favourite, but I've changed allegiances now.
To Modern News.
Modern News,
Not worried about the drift. He screamed like he wanted a mile, didn't he, on his comeback in Maidan. Whether we can take that quite literally, I don't know. All right, so the top 2 in the market covered. Anyway, it does seem to be a race, Robbie, these days that goes towards that progressive group class performer. Of course, William Haggis is bidding to become the winning most trainer of this race. His father-in-law never won it, Lester Piggott, and yet he's going 3. Any of the Haggis
I didn't
horses?
know that was his father-in-law.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, you've been hiding under a rock.
Learn what Auriferous learned earlier.
Well, come on,
and
Racing
that,
Post Live and get educated. That's half the idea with you, Robbie,
It
actually.
could, yeah. I don't really know which one of those sort of 3 unexposed types is the one to side with. I've stuck with Notre Belle Bet for Andrew Baldwin. Just really found his form in 2 starts for the yard this year. Sort of shaped better than the bare result when he won last time at Wolverhampton. I think he's valued to win by a bit further. And I mean, he's definitely still on a good mark. We've looked back at some of his Irish form. He also ran in the Hampton Court Stakes at Royal Ascot, and he's sort of 92. Could be miles better than that.
He was very well regarded. It took him ages to get over the line, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, blinding run, finishing 4th to Poetic Flair in a Guineas trial on his debut, but he just seemed to regress after that. But he's back now. He's back in form.
The
Got a run
Bunyan
behind
stable,
him.
of course.
I like him each way at a double-figure price with a lot of places.
And you're happy with the high draw? Yeah, you're getting back.
Yeah.
You're coming back into fashion now. You're a lot of places on the sports, but well done.
Yeah, high draws. Quite a few have won from double figure. It's been double figure stalls.
It has.
The last 7 years. So
They can do it from low parky, can't they? And Kills was saying to me yesterday, don't be too worried about the 1 and 2 because they've hit the frame a few years. But you have to give up ground if you're going for that far rail. They have shunned it in recent years, haven't they? I think when we did see the low draw runner win, which was, of course, Ocean Tempest back in 2014. Do you remember that? 21 for John Ryan. And, of course, Levitate for John Quinn, who's got Safe Voyage in this top weight. It was both on soft ground. It's when they tend to go far side. I probably would want to be higher than lower when it came out, wouldn't you? Just on the balance of it.
Possibly, yeah. As we was discussing earlier, I just think it depends where certainly on this ground, it looks. I think there's more of a draw bias when there's rain really soaking into the ground. I'd be trying to find out where the pace is.
Have you looked? I'm assuming you have.
I think Marie's Rock, possibly from 16. That's why I'm seeing it. The 2 that I've backed are Darkness and the 2 David O'Meara horses actually, Darkness and Hortzadar.
People looking down to see where the mare's hurdle.
yeah, I was going to say I can't say Marie's Rock one.
Marie's down.
It's early season, Parky. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Formerly Same Silks. As well,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah, of course. It was Midland Park.
Midland Part, yeah. So.
Yeah,
Third in the
Darkness
Queen,
has
huh?
drifted out to a big price, certainly on the Betfair Exchange. I mean,
Also, has Lord North just won?
Yeah, it's very tight.
very tight in Dubai.
I think
Yeah,
he might.
I
Ooh.
did bat Lord North.
I think
We're
he
looking
might
at the
have got
Dubai
it.
Three-way
turf. The Lord
photo.
North has bounced back, whatever's happened. Anyway, we'll get you a result of that coming up. Tell us about Darkness, because this is a horse that lots been said about this.
I
Kills
just
has
really
made a
like
strong
David
case
O'Meara
for it.
in this race.
Yeah.
I think he obviously targets it. Won it a few years ago with Bravery, but he's had very good horses run really good races.
Lord Glitters?
In defeat. Lord Glitters, Monday Elise, I don't know if you remember him.
Do.
He
Same
had
colours.
Hortzadar last year that was 3rd at a big price. And I've backed Hortzadar as well. I think he's a cliff horse for me. So I've had a little bit on the exchange. I think he was 60 when I backed him. Don't know what he is now. If you watch back, he obviously ran a really good race in the Lincoln last year. He's £7 lower. So if he does rekindle that form, he's got a big chance of the weights. He ran in the Royal Hunt Cup, which I backed him again. He got no room whatsoever, but just finished hard on the bridle. I mean, he finished 10th, 11th, 12th, right down the field. But it was a hell of a run. If you would only notice it if you'd actually
you
backed
were with
the
him.
horse. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he is that sort
he
of
lost
horse.
his way a little bit last year.
Does he come good at ripping always?
Yeah,
Hortzadar, isn't he? That's what it
he didn't really come good anywhere last year. But,
Okay. Putting some
I
shine
just-
on something that wasn't there.
Yeah, sometimes they lose the way. I can't give up on him just yet. If he runs a stinker here, then that'll probably be it.
Of course, £7 lower, as you said, than
Yeah,
one
and
last year.
I'm surprised with the drift on Darkness. I mean, there was a lot of early money for him. He's kind of like come in from the price he is now to a single figure price this morning, and he's gone back out again. I would kind of trust the early money with this, but
We're giggling because you
Do
made
you
a
ever,
noise.
do you
there.
ever just?
Has he
do you
got
ever
beat? Has
just-
Lord North got beat?
No, do you ever just put a bet on and accidentally try and click each way and don't do it?
Yes.
So I've just backed Notre Belle Bet on the nose. I didn't want to do that.
Oh well, we'll let you deal with that one. That's a big Nat Green one. That's what she does. She
just
went,
stupid.
Yeah, she does that a lot. Still not confirmed in Dubai. If you're wondering about the Lord North thing, by the way. All right, so we're going through them. Darkness and Hortzadar. David O'Meara, please, for Parky.
both on Betfair Exchange as well. We're going for it. None of this each way. We're going
Love it, Parky.
on the nose.
Your enthusiasm has been great today, mate. Dead heat, we're being told in
Dead
Mayday.
heat.
Dead heat.
Take that, wouldn't we?
Well, you would, absolutely.
Just
It's better than
about.
loss, isn't it?
2-1 winner.
I like Amethyst. Let's get that one out of the way. Quite like Irish Admiral as well. He just ticks a lot of boxes. The one thing that worries me about Mujtabar is he hasn't got big field experience, and 9 of the last 9 winners have placed in a field of 13 or bigger.
Stall 2 might actually be a positive then.
Well, that
in
might
respect,
be because he
he's
might
only
get the
really
clear
going to
run
be
of it.
racing with.
Do you think
4
they
or
could
5.
go and do their own thing potentially a little bit?
I think Sylvester will probably decide where he goes in the front runner if he does make the running on Johan. It will be a little bit of follow my leader, get cover.
Ex-William Haggis. That would be the Sod's Law horse for
Well,
William,
yes.
wouldn't it?
First
one for
will be
Mick Shannon.
Desperate to get that one to win first time for
So
him.
he could be another pace angle. So I'll be surprised they don't have a bit of an arrowhead formation here, I think.
Look, that tends to be what they've been doing in recent years, but it just there's quite a lot of fancied horses low, a lot fancied high.
Yeah.
In the middle, is not much there, so it might be that there's not enough pace in the middle to actually make them come up in that arrowhead formation. I also like Rogue Bear from the high numbers. I thought he could go well. 3 from 5. Tom Clover, David Egan, 8-3. He's a cracking jockey booking. He's another one to consider. It's a cracking link, and there's so many progressive types coming through. Normally, a lot of these Notre Belle, Bet, Rogue Bear, they would be heading the market to Spring Mile in
You
normal
wouldn't have
years.
thought Rogue
So
Bear would have got in, would you? As you said earlier, it was again.
94 was
Yeah.
bottom weight last year in the Lincoln, so he's 87. So it does mean that you've got a few more of these unexposed ones that probably weren't aiming for this race.
This
but
has almost got an
they've
old
gone
school
into
look
it.
about it. This Lincoln,
With lightweights, 8,
Yeah,
8
exactly.
That never seen normally.
They're so compressed now, aren't they? It's quite nice to see, and it's all right. I used to love the lightweight jockeys, that used to come in and
The Angry Ant.
the angry Ant Gary Bardwell, of course, won the Legends race, didn't he, last year?
In the Godolphin colours.
Yeah, look, that was amazing, wasn't it? All right, let's hear from social before we hear about Barry. There is the poll. Who wins the Lincoln? 42% think it won't be one of the top 3. Not much love for Salem, Mujtaba and Modern News dead heating for quite a few out there. That's interesting, isn't it? We've got some selections, guys, socially out there. Let's see if we can get that on. See who's coming up. Here we are. Got to be very careful. This below 247. Got to be having what's the story in the Lincoln. Runs great,
Can
fresh,
see that.
nice low mark. You can see that.
Yeah, he was on the shortlist.
Keith Dalglish having a good day.
Yeah, I mean, what's the story? He always pops up in these big races anyway. His form last year, he was second behind top ranked in the
Yes.
group race before the listed
The
race.
Doncaster Mile.
That's it, yeah. So that was that's a perfectly respectable run. He then ran well at York in the Clipper Logistics, I think, and then he lost his way a little bit in the next 2 runs, but he was stepped up in trip. I don't think that was quite what he wanted back at York in July. Not been seen since. I don't think he's ran bad enough races to suggest he's the price he is. I think he is overpriced.
He's a
What's the
veteran
story?
now.
Can definitely see it.
Yeah. He loves York, doesn't he?
And he'll love this big field.
He has one at Donny, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, okay, so not so smelly for Bullo, says Tom Park. The mighty Gomez comes on, who's been given a couple of shouts-outs so far. Revich, each way, pretty confident. The excellent Kevin Morley in his trade column says Revich ticks most of the boxes. He did run well in this last year, didn't he?
I think he's 5th or
I just got him down as a
4th or
Chester
5th.
horse. He ran well in the Lincoln last year, says the trainer Richard Spencer. It's his first run of the year. It's a good race to start him off in. I bet you they're looking towards the Chester May meeting.
100 to 1/6 last year. So
Yeah, it was a little bit unlucky there, I seem to remember. Marco Gianni, a big rider going places again for him this season. Big 22 for Marco. He gets the ride there, stall 11. Not probably a bad place to be for the Gomez. Well, who else comes up on the screen? Let's have a look. Andy Sim comes back and says, I've got 2 bets in the Lincoln. 1 win on Mujtaba each way, going in with Barry, and United Front. I had a little look at him. McAppleby's horse, Andy, and Theodore Ladd is on, stall 7. Another likely possible pace angle?
possibly he's handy, wasn't he? And
He
the
does
other
like to be up
Kempton.
there. I can't remember what knocked him out, Andy, but he was one of the last ones that went out, actually. He used to be an Irish horse, didn't he? But Mick Appleby,
He's ex-O'Brien in his younger days.
he is something of a genius himself, Mick Appleby, isn't he? The way he gets these cast-offs, and with the second time up.
Stable
market-
2 this week in the Weekender.
There we are,
there we
Parky.
go.
I didn't know that tenuous
Yep.
link. That's lovely. All right, Andy, good luck with your bets out there, Andy. Superb to have you on this afternoon, as ever. And we've got one more coming up. And Nicola Cargill comes on. I've seen you, Nicola, in the chat. Been very lively today with modern news. Sticking with the
No
Millman.
elaboration or anything there.
No,
Fair enough.
just modern news. Keeping it simple.
Yeah.
A man of few words.
Got an update on my bet if anyone's interested. Managed to find 6 places for just the place market. So
For
Notre Belle Bet.
Notre Belle Bet, the Lincoln trial winner.
relax
Right,
now.
let's bring Barry back in. We've been digressing, Barry. We've had the break, obviously. Kelso, that incident. We're not far off the biggie, though, now. Mujtaba, where does he sit?
He's 4.7, Dave. So he's been around that for quite some time now. 6.6 Modern News. Amethyst is 8.6. Rogue Bear is one that's come in for decent support. Was around the 25 mark. Is into 18 now. So 17 to 1 chance Rogue Bear for David Egan. Darkness, another one that had been backed, is 19 now. United Front 34. Irish Admiral going the other way out 38. Don't forget, it's 6 places each way on the Betfair Sportsbook here.
There you go. 6
Saliam's
places.
not got a friend here, has he?
No, he's really weak.
It's a really big.
Is he just an
dream.
all-weather horse? He's had
He
the
just
wind
doesn't have a
off.
sexy profile like the others, does he?
He's bred to be very good, isn't he? Do you remember
Yeah,
Talmada, his dam? She was Roger Varian. She got chinned in a woodbine. That was her last run, I think. She
I
was
think these
very
ones are
good, mate.
too young, Dave. I think, yeah.
Yeah?
I think it's
Only me that remembers Talmada.
These
James,
ones,
you
I
like that
thought we
one?
were a similar age, me and you.
Are you?
I don't know.
28.
See, I'll
You
take
seem
that.
considerably younger, Rob. Can't think
34.
why.
Age of
All
wonder.
right. Okay. So, any more to go down? I mean, Brunch is a horse that often seems to turn up in these dances, isn't he? The Hitman Heart for Michael Dodds, and he's a strong travelling horse. Might just need it. Another bat. Saw some love out there earlier on for another bat. The first one for of course it's David and Nicola Barron now, isn't it? There's another one.
An awful lot of these partnerships now.
And somebody said in the chat earlier that Paul and Oliver Cole blows the alphabetical partnership. You know, it's not
think-
just it can't be alphabetical.
Yeah, I think it's a waste of time myself.
Point now.
Good-
What
very
is-
good spot.
What is the system then?
Well, we don't know. Perhaps someone can tell us.
Please, I need the insight.
We do need the insight. You know, the anti-postman, you can go digging for us next week. One else that Keel's brought up, and Richard Allen, great day. Of course, he's on the treble. John Egan takes the ride. On Tia Delina, first time out winner last year. Keel's is really quite keen on here. Did you have a little hover? You're grimacing there, Parky.
Yeah, it wasn't one that was on my radar. Yeah, as I said, the ones that I chalked off were What's the Story, and I just wondered whether Marie's Diamond could see that. I think it is a big price, but yeah, I haven't really. Yeah, Tia Delina could see it. Well handicapped, but there's a lot well handicapped in this. I mean, it's got that profile 4-year-old rated 89. I mean, it's another that is coming off quite a nice weight.
Are you going to need to be a group horse to win this?
Not necessarily.
I think it depends of which ones of the top turn up.
It's tricky.
If the top 2 in the market bomb out, top 3 in the market bomb out, then that's what I'm kind of banking on really. Certainly with Hortzadar, he's certainly not group class.
No.
But
Yeah, well, we do get your Ocean Tempest, don't you?
Well, it's
You know?
off their
course you
mark,
do, yeah.
isn't it? Because Modern News has got to be a group horse to win off 105.
I was going to ask Barry, where is Modern News sitting now? You said he was stinking in the market a little bit. Parky's noticed that Saliam really friendless as well, Barry.
Yeah, he's 8.6 now, but everything's drifting because the money's come for the favourite again. Favourite's into 4.3 in the win-only market on the exchange, so he's 130. Modern News 888 Amethyst. He's your second favourite now. Money for Robbie's pick, Notre Belle Bet, into 10.5 now.
Robbie, your horse being back to apparently Notre Belle Bet. It's a long time since the Lincoln trial had a big bearing on this race, but it has been done.
He picked up as well, didn't he? To claim that Dixon Baldemero, I thought, had it in the bag, counting the winnings on that one. And he absolutely flew him. And
Yeah,
Andrew
we covered that
Bolden,
on this show. It was
literally
had to
on the
work
line.
Yeah.
You've got it, I think,
Probert
Jason
at his
Watson
best,
on the
wasn't it?
runner-up.
Big year for Probert coming up as well, isn't it?
O'Sheen not there.
Yeah.
A lot of big rides. So Vesta, again, no King Power, so he's
You
on
use
this
Dave
one.
Probert a bit, don't you?
Yeah, we've used him a fair bit. Very solid. Sandrine was his big horse last year, and it showed you on the big stage he can
Sandrine.
operate.
Yeah, of course.
Speaking about
Classic.
Sylvester, do you not think he's a big price to win the Jockeys Championship at about 33 to 1?
Yeah.
Bit of a Brian Hughes angle. He'll
Yeah.
be riding
Up north,
not
that's
on
how he
the
did
He'll
it
be
before,
everywhere,
wasn't
won't
it?
he?
getting a lot of winners on the board.
Yeah,
That's
good
too
shout.
big a price. I've backed that, yeah.
Is that
But
going to
still.
be a
Is that on the
pop-up?
anti-post?
I don't
The
know.
anti-postman
I don't know
is
if I want to get into
considering a jockey bet.
I don't know if I want to get into specials.
Oh,
To be fair, I can't take all credit for this, as my colleague Andrew Wilshire spotted the angle.
Yeah,
But I mean,
SDS,
just that
yeah.
change of
He's got
campaigning.
a lot to prove, hasn't he?
well,
SDS?
Buick is going to be head down to get it.
Yeah,
'Cause
he's-
obviously with the winners lost, when perhaps O'Sheen shouldn't have been riding, that really does great, I think. So they can easily feel it's 2 championships lost, which probably should have won. So I would imagine, I think the agent's going all out straight away. I don't think he's going to be riding abroad. I think the American trips and stuff will be other Godolphin jockeys will be
Shout
used.
for the jockey's title early on then. We've heard that we think Harry Davis will be the champion apprentice, if you had to shout it now. Of course, he's bidding to do, and again, this is the story, isn't it, on Modern News? He's bidding to do exactly what Benoit de la Sayette did last year. Never had a public ride on turf, wins the Lincoln. And of course, Harry's only been seen during the all-weather, so he's bidding to do exactly the same thing. Charlie Appleby, 3 runners in the Lincoln, 2 have won. Modern News, bidding to do what Secret Brief did, who had a run in Dubai before coming and taking this. Look, this is going to be a belter of a race. Amethyst looks like he's shortening up to me all the time.
Well, imagine
as
if
well.
Kieran Fallon has been removed off Amethyst to ride the supposed favourite first string, then the second string comes and does
Could this be Rosser totting up a bit as well? There for that?
accumulators, etc. Because he's having a good day. Trevor
Loads of
already.
liquidity I'm seeing, Barry, as well as expected.
Yeah, really strong. 1.25 million matched on this so far. Your favourite's really strong at the head of the market, Mujtaba. 4.488 Modern News, 8.2 Amethyst. Like I said, your second favourite. Now 10.5 Notre Belle Bay. 28 Brunch, some support for that. Darkness out to 27.
Crazy.
Was that anti-post money, you think? Just
Well, yeah, it could well be. I mean, it's pretty telling,
He's
isn't
nearly
it?
gone out to what he was right at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
yeah, he's gone coming and gone straight back out. They're in the stalls then for the Lincoln. I'm going to need some help with the call on this one, guys, all right?
Yeah.
So I need some spotters. Are you all ready?
We're ready.
I'm
Primed
excited.
and ready.
Terrified prospect Robbie Wilders doing a commentary
quite
one
like
day
to
on this show.
commentate,
But it probably will happen. Buckle up. This is the 2022 Lincoln. The flat is back. And of course, it won't be back on this show for a little while. Probably till mid-April, of course. After the National, we'll be showing you the Greenhams and Fred Darlings, all that sort of thing. Cannot wait for that. But we'll be back jumping after this. Scottish National Day. Join myself, Charlie Post, Kate Tracy. I'm trying to think who else is on. I think that's it. And Barry Orr as well. We will be there for you. And Robbie's in for Scottish National as well. Yeah, blimey. Who invited you back? I'll have to have a word with the
Look
producer.
forward to it, mate. It's been quite fun.
Well, it's been a solid debut. A surprisingly solid debut. I must say.
Starting to need the loo.
The
It's always going to happen.
It's always a big chat on this on this show. All right, Parker, you enjoyed yourself?
I have very much so. It's been good fun.
I can tell you. Yeah, he's great. It's been great to have a weekly's editor on. It's been great to have James back. Barry's been having some fun as well. We had that long break, of course, because of Kelso unfortunately delayed. And again, we'll keep you updated as best we can. And after we go off, keep checking the live reporter as well for that. Andrew Dietz is our man on the ground at Kelso as well. Terrible incident up there. Hoping Conor McCann.
I think he was conscious entering the. Obviously, he was conscious, and he may have. Now, don't quote me on this, but he may have broken a leg.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Barry. Yeah. Okay. Are they right behind? I'm assuming at Kelso, aren't they? It's
And they've literally
2:44.
just done a gap. They've just started the race behind. So
Yeah. Well, at least it's light now, of course, 'cause the clocks go forward, spring forward, fall back, isn't
tomorrow, lose an hour.
Yeah, it's going to be good, isn't it?
Here we go. The summer's here, and the Lincoln is here. Irish Amble Stevie Donahoe will be coming back on the show this year. Managed to get a chat with Stevie. He's bang up for it. Who remembers the day he came in and joined us at Glorious Goodwood? Absolute scenes. Good luck then. The cavalry charge. They are off finally in the Lincoln. You will know where your money's gone very shortly indeed. The most important thing, where are they going? Stevie Donahoe in the blue cap parky is probably key to this.
Yeah, it looks like that.
Joe Hans took him centre as well. So
Irish Admiral.
Irish Admiral, like we discussed, looks like he's
Yeah.
going really well. He's
For
going
Mujtaba,
forward,
just sitting off him, isn't he? Amethyst is out the back. Road Bear, money for that, Barry said. Right out the back. Hortzadar for Parky and Darkness out the back as well. Fame and Acclaim Marie's Diamond, not even near the front, Parky. Here he comes, though.
Yeah, that's...
Notre Belle Bet for the anti-postman.
Going all right.
Brunch is going well. James?
Modern News off the bridle already. Under
Modern
Harry
News
Davis.
scraping
Gonna
along.
scrub
Okay,
along.
let's go to Barry. We're around about halfway, Barry. What are we saying on the exchanges?
Mujtaba 2-1 now in running on the Betfair Exchange. He's just getting the office there now. Irish Admiral 19. It's all about your Mujtaba.
He's absolutely cruising,
And
isn't he?
Salem.
Darkness is struggling.
Joe Hans
Okay,
probably
Salem
will.
likes to get on with it, so we'll find out. No problems with turf at the moment. Darkness is struggling along out the back. Look at Hortzadar, might even have to say.
Irish Admiral pinch this here, I mean.
No, this is Salem.
Oh,
this
Salem,
is Salem
yeah,
in the
of
blue
course it
cap.
is.
Irish Admiral's running
Evens
really,
now,
really well.
Salem.
Salem then. Okay, Kitty Trice was all over this one I spoke to yesterday in the office. Okay, Willie lasted out. He's bred to stay. This could be a massive one. Here comes
Johan's
Mujtaba. What's
buttoning
this on the
back.
far side? It's a broken spear. This is broken spear. This is a huge run for Johnny Pete and Tony
Johan,
Coyle. He's
Sylvester.
having to say Johan as well.
Get in
This
the
will be,
six.
oh my goodness gracious. I think Johan's going to
Robert's
get it, isn't he?
coming late.
He's left William Haggis and he's gone and taken it. Sylvester de Souza, big year. Could we be seeing the champion jockey? He has. taking out the 2022 Lincoln, and he loved that, didn't he? Barry Orr, when did they know?
Yeah, SDS, a Betfair SP of 42 for the winner. He traded at a high in running. There was 40 quid matched at 70. The runner-up, Salem, hit a low of even money in running on the Betfair Exchange. Nothing else really traded short to top, bar the favourite who hit a low of around the 7-4 mark at one stage. Even Salem for 934 quid, but very few of them got into it.
Pace was key. Johan made it up the centre. Salem was pretty handy. Rogue Bears, you want to take out. He's the only one to make up late ground right from the back of the field. The fourth, I think, for David Egan. But Haggis has lost the Lincoln winner.
Oh, we said, didn't we, there would be the Sod's Law horse for the team. Haggis has gone and done it. Mick Shannon takes out the Lincoln then. Johan, will we be seeing him go and running in some listed races back again? Probably will, won't we, I would imagine. Mustaba, did he quite get home? First one over 7, don't know.
Rogue Bear, yeah, he's run a
Rogue Bear,
storm,
massive. This is going to be one for the Members Club replays, isn't it? Big time.
Yeah, that's...
He's the one to take out of it.
That's a
Third,
big eye
actually.
catcher.
Yeah, and there was money for him. He's not nice
Nothing
low
else
weight
really
there.
came from behind, did it?
It was weird. I think James is right. Absolutely, pace was very
Last
much
furlong,
key.
it looked like they were just all racing along the same...
I'd say Salem will be going up in trip, don't you think? He's bred to go up a bit.
Possibly a lot of speed, though, wasn't he? He was sent on early by Ross.
Yeah.
The winner's made all at the centre from stall 3. Salem, so was it stall 4? He's come across anyway. Sylvester, low draws weren't a problem.
That's massive for Sylvester, isn't it, Robbie? That's huge.
Massive, yeah.
Did you have a bit of that 33s?
Yeah, I did, yeah, very much so.
Oh, you're loving it.
Point on.
You're loving it.
One step closer, mate.
Okay,
Doesn't
super.
start till May the 1st, does it? Or April 30th.
Well, well done. We didn't see a lot of love for Johan, did we? Yeah, okay, this doesn't actually count, does it? Of course. We've got the All Weather Champions going still, doesn't actually count.
For goodness sake.
Put another 0 on that 33. You're absolutely gutted. Oh, that was a nice low blow from James Millman there. Barry, it's been a weird day because we've switched back to the flat. Now we're going back jumping. Scottish National, can't wait. So much still to come. Great to have you on this afternoon.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. It was a great show. Really enjoyed it. Good to see James back in the hot seat there, and Robbie and Tom. Great job by both of you. Look forward to seeing you again on the show.
Thank you, Barry Orr. We'll be beaming back to Dublin next Saturday. Parky, happy days. Thanks for making the trip in, man. We'll see plenty more of you, hopefully, this year.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
You're a
it's
natural,
great to
mate.
see everyone, yeah.
You are a natural.
Come on, mate.
I couldn't resist that, Robbie. It's been a great... The anti-poster, who's enjoyed it? You've got alternate views.
Please.
Yeah.
And if you haven't enjoyed it, also tell me, because I appreciate negative feedback too.
You like honesty.
I like getting
prevails.
stick, yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. And James, great to have you back.
Thank you for having me back.
You've helped me steer the ship a little bit.
Yeah, we can only try.
You've messed pressing the
I'll
buttons,
give you a
haven't you?
few. Well, yeah, once we got used to it again, that lucky 15 was a little bit poor.
I love talking about the Spring Mile. I'll see if I can find any more political stuff for next time you're on, because I know that's why you get out of bed. Thank you for getting out of bed and watching as well. Thanks to the guys in the gallery, Sam, Will and Kieran as well. The sun is shining. Let's all go and have a nice Saturday evening, shall we? But join us back next week for the Scottish Nash.